up, everybody? It is episode 98, recorded on Sunday, April 24th, 2022. I'm Drew, and with me I have tonight the wonderful John. And hey, John, guess what? What is long, green, and smells like bacon?
A baconed cucumber.
Kermit the Frog's fingers.
Shut up and sit down, because it's the best day of the week for your favourite podcast, the Dads After Dark Show. And here are your hosts, John and Drew.
Welcome to the show, everybody. On today's show, we got a fun one as always. We're going to be talking about bounties, mayhem, booty bracket, and leads. We're going to talk about some game releases and new dates. Woohoo! And then somehow, some reason, Discord blew up over the last few days. And I don't know why, and I don't know what the fuck was happening, but it was fun. Fantastic. We're going to break it down on tonight's episode.
Don't look at me. I don't know either.
Well, I don't want to point the finger, but, it was like a busy day, and I come back, and I see, like, my name everywhere. But we'll just leave it at that. I think we'll get to it later. So what have you been up to? I guess, you know what? I gotta talk about the elephant in the room. PlayStation dads.
Did you like it?
Let me say this. Well done.
Yes.
Well done. I'm shocked I listened to literally the entire episode. I guess I needed to hear my answer. I could have fast forwarded, I guess.
I mean, it was 2 hours long.
It was long.
I mean, you know how we usually do. I said 30 to 60 minutes. Or maybe I said 60 to 90. But I thought it'd be about an hour. We just kept talking. There was so much. I mean, it's the first PlayStation dad, so there's all this PlayStation stuff to talk about.
Well, I mean, it fucked me over too now behind in all my other podcasts, since I spent 2 hours listening to you guys talk about shit I didn't know. It was good. It was fun. It was great. There was some things that were over my head, but for the most part, I was following along. It was good. You guys, you just jump around, right? You did a whole segment on bashing Xbox. Just 3 months ago, not even a month ago, Xbox was like your side piece, like the hottest person, and then just bam, right to the curb, trashing it. Like, wow.
I was all in fun.
No mercy.
Oh my God. Did you hear some of those insults? They were the stupidest things possible.
Absolutely.
It's all in fun. Plus, Hambo and Johnny still plays his Xbox. I still have my Xbox.
Have it is the key word there.
It's just requisite,
It's like the blow-up doll. It's there when you need it.
Yeah. But really, what kind of name is Phil Spencer? Like, Jesus. Anywho, did you also see that I tried Starlight Coke on that episode?
And I liked it. I go back. I bought more.
Did you? I just had some like pre-show. Here's the can right here for everyone. And
I never had the can.
It has a great little aftertaste. It goes down very smooth. Somebody had mentioned, I think it was you, that it was like a cross between like vanilla Coke and Dr. Pepper.
No, I think that was
somebody else.
I think that was Hambone or someone. I never said vanilla.
Yeah.
I think it was like a cherry Coke.
It's definitely no Dr. Pepper.
No, it's more of like a cherry Coke with a little cotton candy-ish sweetness.
I don't even know if I'd say the cherry Coke, but I definitely see the cotton candy. It's kind of a nice little taste. I wish I had the bigger cans. I wish I had bigger cans.
We all.
But yeah, so sometimes I'll have 2 like on that last episode, but it's good. I'm going to cap this up with a full-blown Coke later.
You're going to blow some Coke? Okay.
Yeah, I'm also this past week feeling my age. I have like bursitis in my left knee. If you're a younger dad, you might want to skip ahead a couple minutes. You don't want to hear these stories. But yeah, I've had like pain in my knee. It doesn't hurt when I walk. It doesn't hurt if I run. I don't run anymore. But if I put pressure on it, it's kind of like an ache. And usually, like when I get into bed at night, you kind of do the thing where you put your knee down and you kind of get into bed, and it's always like it hurts because my body weight is coming down on my knee.
Yep.
And it's one of those things where it's like, if you go to a doctor, they're not going to see anything and they're not going to really know what to do.
It's the worst.
And so I was thinking about it and I was like, gosh, when I sit down in my office chair every day, because I'm not an active person, and they said this is more of like an active person's injury. But every day I sit in my chair, even when I've been doing this podcast, I will like fold up my left leg and I'll literally like practically sit on my ankle. Yeah. So I basically tuck my left foot under my body. I don't know why. I just sit like that.
I mean, everyone's done that. If you haven't, you have. You just don't realize it sometimes.
I just kind of don't like having both my feet on the floor. I like to have sort of I don't know. Well, and I realized...
it sits you up. You got your nice little desk pillow sitting on it. I know what you're saying.
I got it. I'm avocados here.
Avocado.
But yeah, I realized that's what it is. Because like my knee is like fully bent and I could be sitting there for an hour. And so the last couple days I've been trying to not sit like that. And then every so often I'll just ice my knee to try to like, reduce any swelling or whatever. It's not like my knee's swollen, but I'm just trying to like tell my knee, hey, we're taking care of you now. So now every night I go to bed, I'm going to like go in with my knee and just evaluate my pain as a way of seeing how much it's progressed. But I think that was totally it. A weird habit to have, but hopefully I can get past it.
Hey, getting old. You never know what happens, right?
You're getting old. I mean, this is happening to you and you're 10 years younger than me.
That's true.
So,
that's true.
Yeah. I mean, I'd been with a woman by the time you were born. That's the difference.
Well,
anywho, how about how's your week been going?
It's been going well. Drew's Nature Preserve is sprouting, as one may call it. I came home the other day, and my wife had to leave because she had to take the kids somewhere. So I came home, and I was going to do some yard work. But before I even did the yard work, I greet Goomba. Hey, buddy, how you doing? Blah, blah. He's all excited to see me. So I'm petting him, and I'm looking at him. I said, buddy, what's like literally right between his eyes, like right above his nose, there's a giant tick, like just hanging out, like in its fur, like it wasn't attached to him. It's like, oh my God, buddy. So get the tweezers, yank it off, and I fucking cut that sucker's head off. Those things are hard to kill. They're not easy.
I mean, how big is a big tick? You said it was a big tick.
It was a big tick. I would say like, like a push pin. No, that's not that big. That's really big. That's maybe the size of a pencil, like a pencil eraser.
Really?
Maybe a little bit smaller than that. Maybe a little bit smaller than that. I think it was a deer tit. The deer tits are the biggest ones. I believe tits are like scorpions. The bigger, the less potent.
Oh, really? Okay.
Poisonous, maybe.
Yeah.
But we give him like the flea and tit stuff. So I find them on him, but I've never seen him like bit by one. So I wonder if like the tit smells. I don't know. Anyways, then I cut down. I was expecting to see some snakes or some chipmunks or something, but I busted out the chainsaw, cut down like 12 trees. It was great. Felt manly. Got a shit ton of firewood if anybody needs some. But yeah, that did that. No animals. I was shocked. I found a couple like bird nests and like squirrel homes and shit like that, but no animals. Just the remains.
That's good. Still early though. You got time.
But I am starting to get. I think that the birds starting to build nests near my pool, and I swear to God, I'll throw the eggs over the fucking fence. They're not laying eggs on my pool. They're not. It's not happening. We talked about this last year. Same thing happened. You told me to buy the spites and put them under my deck, and I didn't do it. And now I'm regretting it.
Oh yeah, the spikes work really well.
I know. I need to do it. But my pool, speaking of pool, my pool's opening. I'm opening my pool Wednesday.
You have somebody coming over to do it? Is that?
Yeah, I don't know. They come over every year and do it, and they don't charge me. So I just said, fuck it, keep coming. I don't know.
Is that the people that made the pool, that built the...
Yeah, maybe it's like locked in for life or something, but...
Part of the service?
I'm not going to... I don't know. I don't pay any additional fees, so...
Right.
Shame on
that eggplant?
Oh, I can't wait for that eggplant. I'm going to have to blow that sucker back up.
I Googled big tick and I really regret the pictures that I saw. I mean,
did you have a typo and type in big tits?
Well, we don't really have ticks out here, so it's like it hasn't been like a problem I've ever had to deal with. And I wasn't very active and I wasn't going to the woods when I was younger. But I guess I forgot. I really like as ticks like really latch into you over time. They like become engorged, like their bodies become engorged with blood.
It's like Kirby in mouthful mode. Like it bites onto you and then it sucks the blood. So the Kirby is getting bigger and bigger. And that's usually when you find them. And that's when you get Lyme disease, which is no joke. You get big red ring you can get. Trying to look at spots. So all that type of stuff, it's like,
there you go.
gotta nail it in there. But yeah, the last thing I'll mention, big week for me. Maybe not for you, John, but I ordered new golf clubs.
I was in on this conversation too. Very regretful.
Yep, I had a nice club.
Tell everybody about your golf clubs, you 1%er.
I had a nice club fit in. I've had the same clubs for 15 years. I was due. So when you get fitted for clubs, they check like how you swing, how much weight you should put on the club, what lie you should put it. Gets into all the details, and then you decide on which ones you want, and they'll bend them and make them to fit you personally. It's not like just going to the store and buying them. They're customizing them for you.
I honestly never knew that you were fitted for a golf club.
I would say,
I imagine like a tailor with like a ruler measuring up your pants and your crotch and being like.
I bet you're 5 to 8% of people get fitted. The rest just go buy them off the shelf.
Right.
Maybe 10% tops. But yeah, most people just go to the store and, get sporting goods or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm pumped. They said 90-day turnaround time. Fuck that.
Whoa. So
July?
Oh, so you're waiting. So you are waiting?
What are you gonna do? I mean, I've been waiting 15 years. What's another 90 days?
I mean, that like just you could have done that in like December.
I guess I probably should have.
I'm sure a lot of people did. Like
that's okay.
Yeah. Now you're deep into the season, but okay. It'll be before 3 months anyway. They always give you the long time frame.
Yep. No. That's it. That's all I got. That's really all I've been going on. I mean, kids just wrapped up school vacation, so we didn't really do anything too crazy. T-ball started, beat the shit out of the other T-ball team. We smoked them. They had 6 kids. We fucking
6?
ran it. Yeah, I don't know. No one showed up on their team, but we held no mercy.
How many kids did you have? 9? The full.
I think we have 9-ish. Yeah, we were like
usually they would forfeit if you didn't have enough players.
Not T-ball, you don't really keep score, but I kept score in my head.
I see. Oh, so they just had their lineup rotating every 6?
Yeah, that's it. And only 6 kids in the field. We were ripping them over their heads. I mean,
you need to have a minimum because if you had if your T-ball team had 3 terrible hitters, you could just say, "Oh, only 6 people showed up," and you'd have an advantage, right? Because you have more. Well, your best hitters come up.
Yeah, but T-ball, I don't think they're really keeping score, John.
Are they not keeping score?
No, not in T-ball. Everybody bats in an inning.
Oh, I see.
There's no outs or. Oh my god. My son got a ball and he was throwing it to first base. He threw a laser and hit the kid right in the back. It was epic.
You're like, that's my boy.
Spring has sprung and her global leaders below the waist room and has the best tools for cleaning. Aisle 5 in your pants. Don't really know what that sentence means. Time to clear out your winter bush and join the other 4 million men and women, because I like to add that because you know what?
Yeah.
I saw my wife shaving this morning. I said she's cleaning her bush, but she did Manscaped. I think she does her own little thing. I said, hey, the Manscaped lawnmower is there if you ever need it. And she's not taking me up on that offer yet.
I'm sure your wife is perfectly happy that you're talking about it, though.
Yeah, I Manscaped the other day. Let me ask you, John, when you Manscaped...
Did you finish the read? Let's finish the read.
Oh, okay. Blah, 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 blah. 4 million well trusted Manscaped. For 20% off and free shipping, use the code NINDADS, NINDADS, for 20% off free shipping. That's right. 20% off free shipping, NINDADS, NINDADS.
Good to know, Drew.
Good to know. So let me ask you about Manscaping. When you Manscape, I feel like I have to, I talked about going back with a straight razor sometimes. Sometimes I don't go all the way, but I feel like you should always get the side of your dick. I feel weird if your penis has sideburns. Do you know what I'm saying?
Sideburns.
Yeah.
Sideburns.
I don't know.
Oh, my God.
So do you shave off the whole penis? You know what I'm saying?
Stop saying it like that.
I mean, private? What do you want me to say?
I don't have sideburns. I don't do, but that's actually sounds really fun.
That sounds fun.
Well, I don't like straight razor it like you. I'm not like looking to have like a floppy noodle or anything like that.
It makes your dick look bigger.
I don't need that. It's already massive. I don't need to make it look any bigger.
I'm just saying it feels nice.
Yeah, I just trim. So I'm not like doing sideburns, but I cannot stop thinking about what dick sideburns would look like.
Well, you probably have them and I don't have them. That's my point.
Dick goatee.
Dick goatee. Under your balls. little mustache that sits between your penis and your balls.
I'm kind of like a porn stash.
Maybe we're onto something.
I think so. Maybe we need to make this a mayhem.
Kind of like the Halloween contest.
Yes.
Everyone start growing out their bush now. It's April. We'll give you 2 months of bush growth, and then like the end of June, early July, we'll have the contest.
Right. Best grooming.
Speaking of Manscaped, have you seen the commercials lately? They're getting up. They're up in their promotional game.
Like video? I don't see commercials anymore.
Television. I don't know. Like YouTube TV. I see it.
I don't have commercials on YouTube. I don't have them on Netflix.
Well, I have YouTube TV.
Oh, that's right. Because you can't get rid of the commercial. Okay, right.
Yeah, YouTube TV is another version of cable.
I don't think I've ever seen a Manscaped ad ever.
So my point is, they have these commercials now, and I don't know if I like them. Right there, the way they wanted to approach their commercial business. I don't know why I'm bashing our sponsor here, but they have very it's like a high end like luxury type commercial. Like there's no people. It's like music with like them very set up like a stage. Like you know what I'm saying? Like how they kind of like staged it. Like with like a rotating platform in their product lines and stuff like that, and a voiceover. It's just a very I don't know. It's too like snotty. Like I want like a hot chick, with like almost like a comedy type skit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, isn't that what you would think Manscaped would go after?
I think, and I think I've seen other like man-based ads that kind of go with that, right? Like they show a hottie, and you're like, why is there a hottie in this commercial for But because you don't really see that like in women's deodorant commercials, right? Like some hunky guy, like it's just women like showering.
I think women have different minds than us.
A little bit, you think? Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen it. I'll have to YouTube them and give my opinion. But
go buy some Manscaped products. Use the codes and index.
All right, let's go to our bounty board.
The bounty board.
We have one live bounty, and I think we're getting pretty close to adding some more. I feel like we're a little thin. We need some more bounties. What do you think?
I agree. We know the Lego one's going to be out there for at least a couple months more because
somebody's going to get this one. We'll leave it around.
Well, we got Switch Sports coming up. Maybe there's some type of unlockables or like gold stars or platinum stars or medals or something. They must have something that
I could see us doing. What's that bowling one with all the tricks and you get like 10 rounds? I don't know if it's the same format as Wii bowling.
Yeah, but and I remember, didn't you get like a platinum or something? You could get something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I could see us doing like 3 Switch Sports bounties. So stay tuned for our next episode, or maybe before we'll have more. But yeah, right now, Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga, get all 1,166 Kyber bricks, and we will give you $10 for your troubles. You're welcome.
God bless you.
You're welcome. Mario Kart Mayhem came to an end. Drew, very disappointing.
Listen, I can't win them all. I gotta spread the love. Let's be honest. Sean deserved the win. Let's just be honest. He deserved it. The amount of effort he put in. And I'll be honest, I won the first race, and then he won the last 3. And I got so fucked every time. Like blue shell, like everything. I mean, he won fair and square. I'm not bashing him, but you know how it is. Like it does have a little bit of luck with what items you get and if there's a blue shell
and that's why we left the CPUs in as well, because it's the classic Mario Kart fun, right?
100%. It's the best way to do it. Agreed.
Yeah, I've done one-on-one Mario Kart, and like generally someone can take a lead, get a couple bananas, and then just hold off. It's we need more fun.
Yeah. But what a fun little mayhem / tournament. I'm not saying we'll do this for every 8 new courses, but I guarantee we'll do this for a couple more at least over the next 2 years.
we expect these to come out every few months. So now we're at least a month in. So we should be getting new courses in a couple months. Maybe probably E3 time. We should get the next round of courses. So
I'd say before that, when did these drop?
Well, no, they're doing 2 years, and there's.
I thought it was every 3 months.
No, there's 8 sets of courses, and it's
every
2 years.
3 months. Oh no, you're right. Maybe it's
it's every 3 months. So on average, I don't know. Maybe they'll drop like 2 cups at once. I don't know. But I mean, seeing that we're 1 month in at least, and we got 2 months to go, and that's going to be E3 time. So I assume the E3 presentation, whatever, the Nintendo Direct that comes out in June is going to have the next set of courses, probably shadow dropped.
Good point. Speaking of that, we still don't know what the next N64 game is going to be.
Yeah, we just got Mario Golf, right? When do they announce them? Early in May will be the next one.
Yeah,
we did get Genesis games.
But did we know Mario Golf was coming, or they just said no, Mario Golf is out? No, we knew.
I thought we knew about it when they announced the service, right? Because there was still games like Banjo-Kazooie we knew was coming initially.
We know Mario Party.
They give like a few days of lead time. So are they going to do Mario Party?
I thought one of the or 2 of the Mario Parties was on.
Aren't they trying to sell superstars?
I agree with you.
Well, I'll be excited to see games we didn't know about, because we knew about. I think every game we've gotten so far we knew about in the beginning.
I agree. And like you said, with Switch Sports coming out next week, it won't be within the next week or 2. Do they want everybody to go play Switch Sports?
Right. Yeah. But then they'll do it. I mean, they do have to do it because people are subscribing.
Correct.
Even though annual people are locked in, there's still people that are monthly. So I'm looking up to see right now, because I know they've put the games that are coming like well in advance. Let me see here.
While you look at that, you guys mentioned the booty bracket winner last week, but I was not there. So just to repeat, in case you didn't listen to the special episode of PlayStation, Samus Aran is the hottest Nintendo character of all time. Actually, the hottest video game character of all time. At least she represented Nintendo, I guess you could say. This was kind of in the back of our mind, John, like a no-brainer. I feel like we secretly knew this was going to happen, even though maybe me and you don't think she's the hottest. She's a fan favorite. It's as simple as that. Everybody loves her.
Yeah, I mean, she wasn't my favorite, but I mean, she's a worthy winner.
Yep, and we had a winner. For all those people that did vote, thank you. The winner has been notified and the prize has been claimed. I am Pazman, his Twitter handle. So thank you. Gets his $20 eShop cash card credit. The name of
and when I asked them if they wanted eShop or Xbox or PlayStation, they said, "Oh, I don't cheat."
That's right.
They wanted eShop.
I think they specifically said they called out my name and said I was the better of the 2 people on the show. Just saying.
Yeah, but I'm the one that paid them the 20, so I think I edged you out there.
Well, I own the funds. It's all irrelevant.
Let us know about this Mario Golf League we got going on.
Mario Golf League 2 is happening, folks. Week 1 is in the books. Let me just tell you, we've only had 9 people submit, and that's okay. But I want to tell you something. We're giving out $50 in prizes. Ooh. And I think the way it works, there's like 5 people that are going to win. So right now you have like a 50% chance of winning money. It's not too late to still join. You did miss week 1, which would help you. But week 2 is now starting today. And, get after it. Submit. So week 1 was fun. We played the first course. You had to be Princess Peach, and you just played. You played your round. There's no rewinds or anything. Just played in your best score. Submit it. This game is a lot more difficult than Super Rush. Let me tell you that. People struggled, especially after playing Super Rush. It's different. It's fun. It does take a little bit of time. But week 2, we're introducing a whole new concept because we're playing mini golf. That's right, Mario Golf 64 has mini golf, and we're playing mini golf this week. The mini golf course, you can pick any character you want, go play the course, Luigi's Garden, and submit your best score. Simple as that.
That's interesting. I didn't know they had mini golf.
Yep, they have 2 courses. It's funny, the first course is just, it's the numbers 1 through 10, and then it starts the alphabet, and then the Peaches level is just like, it continues the alphabet. And that's the hole. It's in the shape of that letter or number.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah, it's fun. It's only going to last 4 weeks. You should try it, John, and you should submit your score and join the fun.
I'll try to win. I could use a little more eShop cash.
Exactly. It's only going to be 4 weeks long, and then we're going to go straight into playoffs, and we're going to do a little bit of handicap system. So even if you finish in last place, depending, right now we have 9 people. Last place might not make the playoffs, but the top 8 will. And the top 8 all have a chance. That number 8 person will have just as good of a chance to win this thing as the first place person.
Very nice.
That's
Jump in there.
Mario Golf League 2.
All right.
What we've been playing.
All right, Drew, I will go first. Kind of had a busy couple weeks, but there's been some ups and downs here. First of all, I did finish my Life is Strange remastered playthrough. It's my first one with the remaster. I talked about it last week on PlayStation Dads.
I don't understand. You play this game every week. I don't understand how it comes up every week. You talked about Life is Strange.
I haven't played Life is Strange in a year.
That's bullshit. You talked about some type of Life is Strange, I feel like, weekly.
Yes, but this is the original game.
Oh my God.
This is the best one. This is my favorite game of all time. And, I was going to play the remaster when it came out February 1st after a delay, or 2 delays, I think. And it was just really buggy. And the frame rate was bad. And so, so the frame rate was fixed. And a bunch of bugs were fixed. But I mean, now that I've finished it, because I think I was like on episode 2 or something, I'm really disappointed with it. There were bugs all the way through. Most of them not crazy. There was little like rendering issues from time to time. But like the worst bug is when you play these games and you see an object from a distance, you'll see a little label and a line pointing to it and saying couch. And then as you get closer to it, instead of saying couch, it will tell you the actions you can do, like look, and then maybe like photo or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bug in this game where sometimes those controls appear really tiny, so you don't even see it. So if this is like your first time playing through Life is Strange, there are times when you wouldn't even see the things you can interact with. It would be very difficult to finish this game unless you had the game memorized like I do. So I having finished it, I do not recommend it as your first playthrough.
Are people saying this online? Are they complaining about it?
There were definitely a lot of bugs. When it first came out, there was a bug. It's hilarious. I think it started in episode 2, where instead of seeing the subtitles on the bottom of the screen as the player talked, you saw the file name of the sound file that was supposed to be playing. Like, how do you let that happen?
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't recommend it. If you want to play Life is Strange, just go buy the original. It's probably fairly cheap. It's just smoother and better. And it's kind of funny because Don't Nod made this game in 2015, and now here we are 7 years later. And I mean, Deck 9 had, I think, 2 delays on it. It's still not out on Switch. They've had 2.5 months, almost 3 months since it came out. It still has some pretty important bugs. They just kind of shit the bed with this, and I think it makes them look bad. I mean, they had a finished game, and the remaster didn't make the characters look all that much better. There were some segments of the game that were better. I think overall they were a little better with the face stuff, but it also made their mouths look a little weird too. The first game isn't perfect by far because it's 2015, but I don't know. It kind of threw me off. It didn't feel like the remaster we expected it to be. So I don't want to talk too much more about that. So I think the original is still my favorite. Maybe I'll try it again in a year and see if they fixed everything. I really hope they keep fixing it, though. I'd hate for them to just leave it like this. I played through Ollie Ollie World. Oof. This is the skateboarding game. I think it's the third one. I never played the previous ones. They're always like on sale for super cheap. But this one always looked really cool. This is the first one that's 3D. And so they can do some stuff that they couldn't do. And the previous games were like more like pixel games. So here you get some nice parallax views as you're skating. You'll go skate high in the air. You'll come back down. I can't compare it with the other ones because I didn't play it. Overall, I did like it. The fun part about it is, you play through the levels. None of the levels are really hard. There's some tricky spots as you get through them. But overall, even as you get towards the end, they don't become really hard unless maybe you have like some tactical trouble kind of playing games. There's some times where you have to hit some key jumps and whatever, but it never gets super, super hard. The fun part about a game like this is that every level has multiple achievements for you. One is to obviously beat the level. The other one is to beat the level with just one guy, no crashing. And they do make it easy to do a full restart of the level right in the level. So if you're trying to do that full completion and you don't want to just revive, you want to like restart, they make that very easy. So that's good. And then there's like 3 challenges that are per level. So, hit 5 of the toads or do 5,000 points and bonuses along the way or whatever. That's what made it fun. Replaying levels over and over and over and over again, trying to hit these achievements. I had a lot of fun trying to do that earlier on. And then by the end, I was like, I just want to finish this game and then figure out if I want to do all that stuff. Some of them are pretty hard. I don't know if I saw any that were like really, really hard. However, once you beat the game, they introduce a new achievement in every level, which is beat the level in one turn and accomplish all 3 achievements in that run. And let me tell you how hard that is, because most of the achievements, maybe not the first few levels or even the first world, but most of the achievements are pretty hard to do. And what you'll do is the flow is you beat the level and you're like, cool. Maybe then try to beat the level on one turn. Cool. And then see which achievements you have left. And then you just try for one at a time, because some of them can be a little bit tricky. They happen in certain segments of the level and you got to keep track of them in your head. And they can be hard to do. You might do it 3 or 4 times or whatever. Doing all 3 of them while not crashing at all is asking a lot. And that can be really frustrating. I didn't even try them because I already knew. I was like, this is going to be way too frustrating. I don't even want one of these things, because then I'm going to feel compelled to try to get them all, but I don't want to. But because that achievement was so hard, and I think we've talked about this before, that because that achievement was so hard, I knew I would never 100% this game. So I immediately lost interest in going back and trying to get those achievements for the other ones. Mm-hmm. So I was kind of done with it. I might come back to it, but I just felt like the game, I don't know, it has really great things going for it. It's really colorful. Really creative and fun. There's like cats and frogs, and there's a bear you have to race down the river, and there's these bonus levels that you unlock and go to. So that stuff is all fun. I really enjoyed that stuff. The parts I didn't enjoy was that every level had to have some stupid story before it. And you have these like 3 friends. One's named Dad, one's named Mikey, and he's got a peg leg. And they just had to have some stupid story, and it was totally pointless. I could have done without the story completely. There's no like story through the level. It's just that through the whole game, it's that every level had some stupid thing they were going to talk about. And I hated it. I started fast forwarding through it. And when I fast forward through story or dialogue, it's stupid. I'm just skip. They even at the beginning, like after you get a couple lines in, they'll like say, hey, do you want to hear about so-and-so? And you can actually say, no, I just want to ride. And it's like, even the game knows this is really boring. Just give me the option to never do the dialogue ever, please. So I could have done without that. And it was also very glitchy too. It was very weird. The game, the animation of the regular game was great, but the story part was all glitchy. It was like, get rid of this. It's so stupid. So that was Ollie Ollie World. It was fun. Dark Deity. This is the game I did a 30-second review. No, I didn't. I did a first look for the Nintendo Dads for. They had a code for me, which was great because I was pretty close to buying this game. You had actually showed me the game. I'd seen it before, and I was like, yeah, I think I might get this one. So it's trying to be like a Fire Emblem game, like GBA era. Okay. And it really does look like Fire Emblem GBA level. It's a much more simple Fire Emblem the way it was. 2D, grid, not too much like, you know, the way Three Houses had like exploration and stuff like that. None of that here.
Yep.
They had like not the dating system, but the conversation system where you have a certain camaraderie with that other character. And I still do not know why that's important. They would give you a grade, like you have a D grade or a C grade or a B grade with the other character.
There was no gameplay mechanic or upgrade that you saw benefit for.
Nothing that I saw. I'd have to look it up. I probably will at some point, probably while you're doing your Let's Play, just out of curiosity. But yes, It was very weird. I was literally just A-ing through the dialogue. And they had dialogue between every character, all the permutations. It was so bland and boring. I was just going there. And look, I'm a dialogue guy. I'm not going to sit here and say I don't like story. I love story. But when the story's boring and there's so much of it, that's when you lose me. There are chapters in this game. There are 28 chapters. I had to look it up. 28 chapters. I mean, by the time you get to chapter 5 or 6, the levels are basically like you and your 9 compatriots have to fight 300 enemies that are coming at you. It like very quickly becomes these overwhelming battles because the game design doesn't have clever battle like Fire Emblem would. It has the same kind of 3 characters over and over again, and they just throw a bunch at you, and you're generally more powerful than them. It got so boring, and I kept going through it because I'm a dad that finishes, Drew. But not this time.
What?
I got to chapter 13, I think. I got to 13 or maybe 14. I mean, you know, after you just sit there and grind through hundreds of enemies, and then they do some dumb story, very glitchy UI, very like when you click a button to like advance the screen and nothing happens, it just freezes for like 3 seconds. A lot of that. And then it's like, here's another level. And I ended up on this boat, and apparently our boat got attacked by elementals. The boat was like 14 football fields long, and there was like 18,000 enemies hovering over the water. It was just like, this is so boring. I can't take it anymore. So I saved the game, like in case I decide I want to try it again someday. But like, it just got so repetitive and boring. Fire Emblem, you know, glows because you have enemies with very unique capabilities, unique matchups, and they don't have to throw 100 people at you. They'll throw a very equal force at you. And, you know, you have to be clever about how you make your movements and who you put your allies together, things like that. There's always those strategic elements. This game just didn't have that at all. So I stopped. But I got pretty far into the game. I feel like I got about halfway through. Just the game needs to be shorter and be a little more interesting. And then I played Demon's Souls Remake. Because Elden Ring wasn't enough for me. I actually played this game a lot along with Hambone Johnny.
So is this the previous installment?
So Demon's Souls is the first like Souls game.
Oh, and, first ever.
First ever Souls game. It came out on PS3, and that's why I bought my PS3, because I was like really excited for Demon's Souls at the time. And now this game is a remake, I think completely rebuilt. I don't think it's not a remaster. Like they redid the game. And it was done by a different company, Blue Point Games, I think so. And this was a launch title for the PS5. And I remember when we saw the PS5 and the Xbox Series X showcases, I was like, oh my God, like PlayStation has actual games on launch. They had Miles Morales, they had Demon's Souls Remake, they had Sackboy, they had, you know what I mean? Like they had the Astrobot game, like, and Xbox just had nothing on launch day. But yeah, I played through this. Half the time I was playing with Hambone Johnny, but he had started before me, and he went through it fast, dude. My God,
that's what he does. He's a champ.
Fast. I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Wow.
It doesn't have the open world of Elden Ring, but You can go through in any of 5 different areas. You can go through, I mean, there's like multiple levels in each area. I would say on average about 3 or 4 in all 5 areas. So if you get stuck in one place, you can go to a different area and try to advance there. You didn't have to grind like crazy. If I grinded, it was just relaxing or fun. You have to get health items in this game, whereas you don't have to do that in Elden Ring. So sometimes I would just sit there and grind for health items, and then whatever XP I got, great. But really, I was just grinding for health items and just relaxing while I was watching baseball or something. No boss. You don't get really stuck on a boss. The bosses overall are not as hard. And the reason why they're not as hard is because there's no bonfires in this game. You start a level and you have to basically beat the boss. So you might have to go through an entire level and fight the boss. So if you die to the boss, they start you back at the beginning. Sometimes you can run through sections. You can just run past enemies. That's always been the Souls games. So the bosses aren't super hard because you can't just save right before the boss and then fight the boss. But I love the formula overall. When I got to a boss, I felt like I had a fighter's chance against the boss. Sometimes the level was a little bit harder. That first level that you play, I think is the hardest level in the whole game, which is pretty insane. It's like long. Huh. You're trying to get your feet wet. You don't know where you need to go. I kept fighting this one knight so many times and dying. I got so frustrated. It turns out you're not even supposed to fight the knight. But the game doesn't let you know that. I mean, how am I supposed to know? I come across this knight. There's a door behind him that's locked. I assume I have to beat the knight and get the key and go in. But I absolutely loved it. And then when you're finished with it, and it's about a 20-hour game, when you're finished with it, they let you cycle through again. So it's like a new game plus. You cycle through again. You get to keep your skills. And I even went through the first level again and beat the first boss. And I was like, I'm not going to go through the game again, but I totally could if I wanted to. Definitely more replayability. You can play with a different character, a magic character. I was a ranger. You can be a totally physical character or whatever. I think because the game is not as long, I think it has more replay value. Whereas Elden Ring seems like it should have replay value. But once you're done with it, you spent 70 hours in it. I just don't have the energy to like try to do it again. So, I mean, people have done it, but
perfect.
Yeah. Replayable games should be short.
Yeah, no, 20 hours of good lines. Yep.
Right. So that was really fun. And now I need a PlayStation game. There's a bunch of contenders. So maybe I'll just have you decide. I tried Disco Elysium today. I already owned it.
Shadow.
I don't know if you've heard about this one. It came out on Switch, but then I decided I want to wait for.
Yeah, I'm familiar with this one.
I was really excited for this because it's like a point and click adventure type game, and I played it. I mean, it's all I played today. I think I played like 2.5 hours of it, and it still hasn't connected with me. I found it a little boring. I fell asleep while I was playing it in my first playthrough. I literally like fell asleep and like woke up. Yeah, it was like what it does very well. There's like it's the game's completely narrated. But it's like I'm not making any progress at all. It's just like every person I talk to is like block. But it's either so I don't know if I'll continue it or not. Disco Elysium, I'm thinking of God of War. Horizon Zero Dawn.
God of War games?
What's that?
Have you played any God of War games?
I beat the first 2 and I beat the one on the Vita. I think so. I think there's like one? This one is the one that came out in 2018. It's the one with him and his son.
Okay.
Yeah. It won Game of the Year in many places. So, I mean, it's a good game. I'm going to
say right now, this is my pick for you, based on what I know about the other ones.
Oh, God of War?
I would say just out of these 5 games you have listed, I would pick God of War for you.
Yeah. It's like the classic PlayStation single player game. It's like 20 to 25 hours.
Perfect.
You can complete more if you want, kind of open worldy. So there's God of War, replaying Horizon Zero Dawn, the first one, because I rushed through that. Remember, I've told you I rushed through it and I didn't really enjoy it.
It's only going to be a disappointment after playing the second one.
I know it's not going to look as good, but I'm telling you
before this, John, you own a PS5. Don't play games you've already played. There's too many other ones you can play. That's my advice.
There's not a lot of games that I'm going to play on PS5. I mean, I'm going to play the indie games on my Switch. I'm really just playing the big quadruple A games.
God of War.
Yeah. Persona 5, which I love Persona 4, but I played that portably, so I don't know. This game is, according to How Long to Beat, 97 hours. Mainline. That I just don't know if I want to do 97 hours, but it looks so cool and I really want to play it, so I don't know. Or I can play Shadow of the Colossus, which would be much shorter.
No.
I played the original
17-year-old game. Is it the same game?
No. This is the remake they did like 5 years ago, I want to say.
Is it the same story though?
It's the same game. It just looks a lot better.
Don't do it.
It's not that long of a game. How long is Shadow of the Colossus? It's like 10 hours.
What's boring?
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to play that one now. I would say it's between... Gosh, I really don't want to quit on Disco Elysium, but man, I kind of find it boring. Probably between God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn. So,
well, my vote is God of War.
I will take your vote into account.
I appreciate that. That's all I can ask for.
But that's all I got besides what we both played.
Yes.
Do you want to get into that?
I'll wrap up mine. Mine are fairly quick.
Okay.
Kirby and the Forgotten Land, finally done. Completed it. Beat every level in the post-game content. Did all the post-game content. I think I finished the game about 82% complete. That's pretty good, right? We did a lot of the other stuff, but the only thing I have left to do would be to go back and play every level and get the Waddle Dees that I missed, which I'm not doing. I'd have to play a lot of almost every level.
Yeah.
To get like one Waddle Dee. And then I think even though you haven't played it yet, like you get like the random capsules you'll find, or you can go to like the capsule machine and buy them, and you just get a random figure.
Right.
I think you need all of the figures to also 100% it.
So can you get doubles, is what you're saying?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
And there's not a spoiler. I think there's 3 or 4 volumes. Like volume 1 has 79 figures. I got all of volume 1, but then volume 2, 3, and 4 like unlocks a little bit as you get further in the game. I don't have all of those, and like I said, it's just you'd have to just keep spending the money, and money ends up. I mean, if I replayed all the levels, I would have plenty of money, but I don't have a lot to begin with right now. I spent most of it, so I'm done. That game is it was a blast. Absolutely, I'm gonna say it right now. Like it's contention for game of the year for me. It was that good.
Good to hear.
Mario Golf N64, been playing that since day one. I think I sent a screenshot to John maybe the night it came out of me rolling credits.
Yes,
I did. So to roll credits, you have to do, there's a character mode where you have to play, to unlock characters, you have to play a character and beat them head to head. I'm not gonna lie, I did cheat a little bit. I did a couple save states. And, like if I lost 2 holes in a row, I would go back to a save state because let me tell you, those guys are hard.
Fucking cheater, man.
I cheated. I'm not going to lie.
Wow.
The game's fucking tough. But I did every character besides one. Probably not a spoiler alert, but you can get, is it Shadow Mario? Which can you get? Or Metal Mario? Metal Mario. Maybe Metal Mario.
That is first appearance?
You have to, well, no, because N64 probably came out first. I mean, Mario 64, right?
Was he in? He is in Super Mario 64. I forgot about that.
Yeah, so he was probably in Mario 64. They put him into this one as like the last unlockable character.
I got you.
And to get him, you have to birdie every single hole in the game, which is, I don't feel like doing that. I don't even have all the courses unlocked. So I think I'm going to go try that cheat code now and see if I can unlock all the characters and go from there. Fun game. It's hard, but it's fun. Of course, I've been playing Lego Star Wars with my son. We did take a few days off. We've also been doing a lot of the free play stuff because he likes to use all the different characters. We've beaten about, I think, 5 of the 9 movies. And each movie has 5 levels. So we've beaten whatever that is, 5 times 5, 25 levels. But we're having a blast. He's so into Star Wars now. We went to the bookstore today, Barnes and Nobles, and we let the kids each pick out a book. And he picked out a Star Wars book, which fine by me. But yeah,
that's my boy.
Yeah, he's into it. He's getting really into it. Easter Bunny actually brought him a little Star Wars action figure, so he's having a blast. He's loving it. He's good at it, John. He's better than me sometimes. Like, he's like, Daddy, what are you doing? You have to shoot this and then that.
Isn't it amazing how smart kids can be? You just assume they don't understand things.
They know.
They figure stuff out.
Yeah.
You know what it is? Like, even the mundane stuff, they'll just figure that stuff out. Whereas you just maybe don't care, or you make some assumption about, oh, you can't interact with that thing or something, and they figure it out because they do. They're boundless.
It's funny. There's these little things throughout the game that you have to go up to. It's like a little stand, and you need certain characters. Like R2D2 goes over to one, for example, and it's like this wheel, and there's like an inner wheels and outer wheels, and you have to like match up the different shapes type thing. And the first time he did it, he like got so mad and started like almost crying. I was like, buddy, just give me the controller, I'll do it. So the next time we come to one, I did it. The third time we come to one, I was like, oh, buddy, give me the controller, let me do it for you. He's like, no, I know how to do it. And he fucking did it in like 12 seconds. And I'm like, that was dumb luck. And then everyone after that, he just did it. I'm like, wow, like, good for you, buddy. So yeah, he's and it's weird when kids like learn, like he's at that age, he's 5, like he's trying to start to read a little bit, and like now he can kind of starting to like spell words, and because of this stupid game sometimes, because he gets so into it, right? Like he talks about the planets, like I want to go to that planet, like he's like Hoth, I want to go to that, like yeah, good job, buddy, like so it's cool. I'm having a lot of fun playing it with him. I don't play without him.
That's cool.
So that's it. That's it for Little Star Wars. Like I said, I've wrapped up Kirby, which is great. Mario Golf, I'm just playing with the tournament, and Little Star Wars, I'll continue to play. I do kind of probably might need a game for me and my wife to play. We thought about, and I don't know if I'm going to regret it, but like maybe Mario RPG. I think that's on.
God, I feel like you've played a lot of like Mario RPG games lately.
I know, but she likes those style, and I know she's never played that one. I don't think I've ever played it to completion, actually.
Wait, which one is this? Is it the one on the N64?
No, Super Nintendo.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Dude, I just sold that game. I had it in the box, pretty minty. I sold it it's like 6 months ago, $400.
God bless you.
Yeah.
I tried to sell Earthbound the other day. The wife said no.
Well, that just means something.
I know, it does.
Yeah, sentimental value.
Guess so. Sitting in a fucking box in the basement, real sentimental.
But we played another game.
We did, and I'm obsessed with it. Like, obsessed. When did I text you that I started this game?
I think it was like 4 days ago.
Thursday night or Friday?
I think it was fairly. We haven't been pling that long.
No.
I'll look
Nobody
it up.
Saves the World. Is what have we been playing? Well, John, I'm 15 hours in. I don't know how long this game is, but it's fucking huge. Big map. I am level 38.
April 19th.
5 days
5 days ago.
15 hours. Level 38.
You're at 38 already?
Yeah, I'm at level 38.
I'm still trying to catch. You told me you were at level 20 at one point, and so I've been trying to get to 20. I think I'm at level 14.
38. I put a lot of hours.
This is what you do. You play these games.
I know.
And you play them for like 10 hours in a weekend.
Yeah.
And then you slow down.
Well, life gets in the way, but it's so
slow
I'm obsessed
down.
with it. So if you don't know this game, the Nintendo dads talked about it a little bit. It's what do you call it? It's not a hack and slash. It's more
of just an adventure RPG, an action RPG.
Action RPG,
yeah.
That's a good word. But the cool part is that there's all these different characters. You start as what you call, obviously, nobody, this little white guy, and he morphs into these other characters. And the characters are fun. They did a good job, I think, with the different character selections, right? Between like a magician and a slug and a mermaid, a turtle.
All right, spoilers, yeah.
No, they're not spoilers. You can read it. Doesn't it tell you what it is?
I didn't know there was a mermaid, but I can't wait.
It legit, if you go to the character screen, it tells you the names of every person in the game.
Yeah. I didn't know. You spoiled it for me. Ruined it.
I did not spoil it.
I can't play anymore. I'm done.
Oh, good. More for me. So anyways, each character you have to kind of get, or you start as rank F, and I think you can get all the way to rank S. But you got to do these little missions and quests in order to do it, right?
Yeah, and that's what makes it addictive, is that you unlock a character, and now you really kind of decide, and this kind of irked me in the beginning, but now I've kind of, figured it all out.
Yep.
Is like when you're just going through the overworld and coming across enemies, it's not so much can you beat the enemies, it's with whom do you want to beat the enemies. And sometimes I'll be using a character and I'll be a little using them too much because I'm getting used to them, and you're like, no, stop using the rat, you're at level B, let me use the knight a little bit and try to like upgrade them. And then each one of them has these little quests that are always happening. And so it's like, okay, now it's not so much to beat the enemies, it's which character you use to beat the enemies, and then the technique you use to beat the enemies, so you can be working on these quests. And if you're trying to be as efficient as possible, you want to like constantly be using your boot when you kill the enemies so you can get that quest. And then you want to switch to the ranger and use the swords and stuff. That's what kind of makes it addictive and fun.
You absolutely nailed it. That's what's so addicting, is just completing those little missions and quests. I think the interface is a great job, right? You can hold the L button and it shows you the quest really quickly.
Yeah.
Or you can kind of like go into the pause screen and really look at all the quests, and you can look at the characters. Like I said, whether you looked at it or not my problem. They're all there. They have a big tree of the characters.
And once again, you can pause. I mean, after playing Elden Ring and Demon Souls Remake, I mean, like, I don't take pause for granted, folks.
Yes. So some of the goods, let's talk about some of the good stuff about the game.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I loved was when you kill an enemy, there's really two things that could drop. You could get types of food, or you get type of coins or gems or money, right? All irrelevant and the same. But what I love about that is they don't disappear ever. You know how games they have like 10 seconds and they start blinking and then they're gone?
Yeah.
So you can use this to your strategy where, like, if you don't need any mana or health, you're killing the guys, maybe you're backing up or kiting them, and then you gotta go grab that food that they already dropped. So you try to run around the screen and dodge the food and leave it
there. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Like, I never understood, why does it need to disappear?
Right.
Like, what is that doing for you?
It's expiring. It's getting bad.
It's getting old. It's right.
5 second rule, and the 5 seconds are up.
That was like, I'm going to reference my favorite game of all time, Gauntlet Legends, where if you used like, if there was food in the ground and you hit like a poison barrel, or you use a poison potion, it would turn that food, it would rot in the food into like poison food. Anyways, sidetracked. The characters we kind of talked about, the upgrading and the question.
What are some of your favorite characters? Because the one thing I'll say about the characters is some of them are cool. Yep. Some of them are intentionally stupid. So like, for example, the snail.
The slug? I like the slug.
I mean, the slug is slow, and his main real attack is tears. So it kind of reminds me of that. Oh God, I can't remember the name of the game now. Yeah. But that one character that uses the tears, the baby. It was that roguelike. It'll come to me. And use the tears, but one of his better capabilities is that as he moves, he leaves like a little slime trail.
Correct.
And it slows down the enemies. If they run into it for a little bit, they'll slow down. And then you shoot them with your tears or whatever. But he's still very slow and he's very gimmicky. Mm-hmm. I don't love him. I do like the knight.
The knight's pretty cool.
You can just hold down the attack button. Yeah, he swings a sword.
But the tricky part with him is you can't move while you're attacking.
Yeah, but when he attacks, he can attack so quickly, like you could just stand there and the enemies just stay at bay. Yeah. So if you're fighting characters that don't have projectiles.
And he does have good armor. He's hard to kill.
Yeah.
Did you get the horse yet?
I did get the horse.
He's interesting because he attacks with his hind legs. Mm-hmm. So you actually have to be facing the opposite way of an enemy that you fight. It's a unique strategy, right?
He's not, a horse is not somebody you like. When you're just playing the game and just navigating, who's your favorite? Mine has been the rat.
I love the rat. Actually, I actually like his play style. You can unlock the passive skills, right?
Mm-hmm.
I believe you should have it by now. Do you have the passive skill where you poison people, and then there's another skill you get that once they're poisoned, you can push one of your skill buttons and they explode. So you can run in there with the rat, try to poison 20 guys, and then hit explode, and they pretty much all just die because they're all exploding, taking damage.
Yep.
So I love that strategy. That is a fun one. I used him a lot. I actually liked the magician quite a bit.
I haven't gotten the magician yet.
Okay. I won't tell you what his play style is.
He's a magician.
all the characters besides 2 people.
Okay.
Um,
I like the rat because he's the fastest. So if you are just navigating around the overworld,
the horse is fast too,
the rat's fast. I guess the horse is too, but his attack style is like, you've got to turn around.
I hate that.
You can charge. He's got a really cool, very intuitive charge that uses the mana, but overall, I'll use the rat when I just need to get from point A to point B.
Yep.
I like the ranger as well.
I liked the ranger a lot in the beginning at that level. The turtle isn't very good at all.
The turtle is really for navigating the water.
Which, I'm going to be honest, I probably spent 30 minutes not knowing that.
Yeah. There's one dungeon you go in
on the map. I didn't know where to go.
Right. There's a dungeon you go in where I was like, where do I go? And then you get the turtle and you're like, oh, the turtle's very fast on the water and very slow on the land, which is not true to form, but and he's kind of intuitive to use, but like, he can like just blast through guys, but he's not powerful. Mine's not powerful yet. And he shoots the water. So, but the cool thing is you will use all the characters, because when you get the quests for all the characters, when you beat those quests, it not only helps you upgrade that character, because each quest, each of those quests are applicable to a character. So if you do the turtle one, the turtle gets these FP points, and that is how the turtle will upgrade their level from F to D to C to B to A. But they also upgrade your total XP, which in this game is your base stats. So you start off with base health, base attack, base defense, and then each of the other characters will add to it and have their own sort of stats based on their grade. So you do want to try to get all these quests done with all the characters, even if you don't want to use a certain character.
Well, you have to unlock certain characters.
Well, right. But even if you don't care that, your character is B or A or whatever, and I don't know at the end if you need to get them all to a certain level, but even if you don't want to use that character, you want to do their quests to increase your base XP. And then you get the little wand things. So you kind of have to do it. So they force you to do it, but it's okay because it's kind of fun to do it.
Now, and they also say you don't have to unlock all the characters, right? Obviously, the higher ones you get a lot more power. For example, I just unlocked like the Necromancer, who's one of the topper ones. And I'm just starting to play around with him, but he's pretty cool. He's pretty powerful.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do they seem like really powerful, or they're just
I said, there's 2 branches on the sides of the character trees where you have to have 2 A's, right? And you have to have 2 characters A. For example, the right side is how you get like the Necromancer. Is you need to have the Slug and the Bodybuilder. Actually, I like the Bodybuilder. I didn't at first, but once he gets stronger, he's good. But they both have to be ranked A
and then it goes up. Right.
And then
it's a neat little system.
Yeah, they have the egg. Get the egg yet?
The egg I've used a couple times. There's like some nests throughout the game that you need to do.
It's an awesome game. It's super cool, but the character and upgrading is what makes the game so much fun.
Right.
It makes you want to just keep doing it. It looks fantastic, by the way.
On an OLED screen, it looks fucking amazing.
It does.
I can't get over it. And I had played Dark Deity for like several days or a week or whatever it was on my Switch Lite. And then I switched back to the OLED. I hadn't touched my OLED in a week and had this game on. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, I wanted to cry. It was so beautiful. Yeah, it looks fantastic. And it's so smooth. Sometimes with these games,
problems with it.
I'll like start a game because I'm a frame rate guy, and I'll start a game and it'll be like the frame rate kind of chugs, and I'm like, this game starts off and it's just so smooth. It's like, wow, like I'm really impressed at how well it runs on the Switch.
I agree, because there's times you'll have 25 guys and they're all blowing up and dying, and no, I've never have one little chug or anything.
No hiccups or all. It's lovely.
Now, what's your overall? This game's obviously doesn't have like the coolest story. I guess it's fine. It's average. But I think there's some good humor built into it and some fun little side quests and stuff like that.
Yeah. This is one of those games that starts off and you feel like it's going to have a really good story. You're like, ooh, you wake up in a shed and then you have this interesting conversation with a wizard who traps you in a hole and that sort of thing. But like already, and I'm not super far into the game, but already I feel like I'm just trying to do quests to level up guys, get one so I can like get into the next big castle. I already kind of don't care. I guess the overarching thing is you have to get these 5 gems.
Yep.
And that'll be what you do, and then maybe a final castle. I don't know.
And they talked about the Calamity, so it just kind of reminds me of like Breath of the Wild. And
so many games use Calamity. But yeah, it's a game, I guess, that doesn't need a story, but it probably keeps it from being special. Like, no matter how good a game is, if it doesn't have a story that really connects with you, I'll just forget it years from now.
Think about Ori. Would Ori be as good if it didn't have that story?
No, not at all. Yeah,
it would be average.
Yeah, I don't even remember much of the gameplay of the first Ori.
Yep.
Because I main quested it and that was it. But like that story like still sticks with me. Like that's what makes a game special. And this one, I don't know if this one's gonna have that, but it's been tremendously fun.
I'll be honest. There's a couple of ones like you want a GMA almost because it's like you said, you just kind of want to move on, and there's nothing really there. But the last cool thing I'll mention about it is I think the difficulty is perfect. It is hard at some point. Some of these dungeons are very hard, but where it helps is the respawn points are everywhere. There's so many little crystals. All you have to do is walk by the purple crystal and it saves your game. And if you're in any dungeon and you die, it just brings you right back to the beginning.
Which isn't always ideal, but you start at the beginning of the dungeon. The enemies all come back.
Yeah.
But the dungeons so far haven't been huge.
No.
Nope. Yeah. And I like that you just walk by the crystal. There's no dialogue that you have to press. Yep. You just swing by it and keep going. I like that. More games should do that.
But what about the bad, John?
There's a little bit of bad.
There is.
They don't teach you about pressing. So when you change your character, they sort of expect you to go to the menu with the minus button. And then you go 3 tabs over, and then they show you the tree, like you were talking about, where you unlock the characters. But then you just go through the tree and then click a character, and now you've become that character. They don't teach you about using the R button and the left stick until I think you beat the first dungeon, the big dungeon.
I agree.
Because I had told you, I said I figured that out on my own, but I was like, I don't think they told me to, and they really don't tell you till at least a few hours into the game, which I was surprised with.
It's like the Horizon
it does make it easier.
Wheel.
It is.
It's the wheel.
It doesn't make it. So it makes it easier. And then I think maybe not true. I guess the order that you unlock them is the order around the wheel. I don't know if you can change it. So like, for example, the turtle is on the right for me.
It changes a little bit based on once you get more characters because there's more characters than the wheel has to offer.
Okay. So then you can define your own wheel.
Customize it. I think it's just random though. I think it's like the last person you use comes off the wheel.
Yeah.
When you choose, I think there's no.
I can see that. Yeah. So you'd have to go to the menu if they're not on your wheel, and then they'll get rid of the next.
Yeah, I've had to do that a few times. Yeah.
So to do the wheel, if you're holding left, like if you're running left, and you hold down R and let it go real fast, it'll change you, in my case, to the knight.
Yeah.
So you don't have to hit R and then move it. And it's weird that you move it on the wheel with the left stick and not like the right stick.
I've done that a few times. I've tried the right stick and nothing happens. Yeah.
So like if you want to get good at it and you just know the direction, like I know the ranger is up and to the left. So you can start running up left and then just sort of tap R and you'll switch. But I wish the game paused while you did it, because sometimes you're in trouble, you're in a fight, and I know you're going to say, oh, well, switching during a battle, I mean, the enemies aren't going to wait for you. I really wish when you held the R stick down that the game action paused.
Or slowed down or something, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Horizon will slow it down really slow.
Yeah.
And then just let me pick. I just wish it did that. You can hit the minus button, and it will pause the game, and then you can choose your character. But that's the whole point of the quick selection is I don't want to pause the game. So I don't know why pressing R doesn't pause the game. I hope they change that.
Agreed.
So that's one of my things I don't like. Another one is the mix and match. And I think that's one of the core pieces of this game.
It's the super core once you get to rank B and lower. And let me tell you, it gets to be, and it's not really a spoiler. I don't know how you might already have encountered it, but you get to certain dungeons where there's certain enemies that can only be attacked by a certain type of hit, and it gets worse, John. So what I mean by that,
Ugh.
there's really there's a few different core elements. I should say there's blunt damage, right? There's
spike damage,
spike with like arrow type damage. You're saying, yeah, like a piercing damage. Yep. There's a light damage, which is like by yellow, and then I think there's like a dark, which is like poison and stuff damage. I think that's the 4. So there's certain enemies you have to attack them with that element. And to your point, John, there's certain enemies, like let's say the slug, that doesn't have blunt damage. So once you get later in the game, you can start assigning the slug blunt damage skills by like using the bodybuilder skill set and moving it to the slug. So now that slug isn't just like known for its skills. You're really just picking your favorite character and giving them the skills you want. Which kind of defeats the purpose of all these characters that you would be coming to love and understand.
Right.
So it's kind of broken in that weird way.
Yeah. That's I think that's my biggest negative about it. Is it kind of makes it complicated, but at the same end, it's probably one of the cooler things about it is that you can build a snail and the snail can use, some of your favorite power-ups. And if that was the case, that would be really fun. And the cool part is, and I didn't really understand this at first, you can take your snail and give it the rapid arrow from the ranger, the rapid arrow power up. That doesn't take it away from the ranger. In fact, you can give that power up to all of your characters. So that's one thing you need to know. But yeah, like if you go, okay, here's what I want to do. I want to do the snail with the arrows and this power up and this power up and these passive abilities. That's what they should let you do. But like you said, there are characters that you have to use certain attacks on. And so you're constantly having to go into the menu and mix and match them. And it's like, I just want to leave them the way they are. I don't want to have to change this.
You can't though, because like I said, you're going to get to dungeons where there's a bundle of enemies and there's 3 different elements all in that bundle. So there's no way you could kill them all with 1 or 2 moves. It gets tricky.
So you'd have to hit the minus button, and then you have to go through and pick 3 power-ups that all have different types.
And set the characters.
Yeah, it's not how you want to use that character. Yeah, it really is. I think it's the biggest negative in the game.
And on top of that, I'll say the enemies themselves, I feel like there's not a big variety. I think there's a lot of the same enemies, and then you'll even notice when you get to like a boss fight, I've noticed, like they didn't even have it's just the same enemy that you fought in the level, but maybe a little bit bigger with more health.
Right, and the bosses are like 6 waves of enemies.
Yeah, like I thought there should be like each dungeon, or even at least the big dungeons, should have like an epic boss fight.
Right.
I just feel like it was a little lacking of enemy, variety.
This is one of those classic games where when you start it, that first hour or so, you're like,
oh my God,
this is freaking amazing. Like, I love this. You have to like turn in like early on in the game. I don't want to be too spoilery, but early on in the game, you have to turn in the rat to get through a little tunnel. And then you're like, oh, this is cool. I'm like using these different characters. And you unlock a knight and a ranger. And you're like, oh, I like that. I love this. And then as you go in, it's becoming like work. Like, I gotta take this thing and put it here and take this and put it here. Most games that you play that you mix and match these things, you kind of pick your favorites and you're like, this is how I want to do it.
Yeah.
They call it a build, right? You're playing through Elden Ring and you're like, this is the build. I like this build. And there's nothing that prevents you from using something. But yeah, having these types, what did we say? There's 3 or 4 different types. It's not like a lot.
There's 4, I think.
Okay. It's not a lot.
Yeah.
But
no, it's just a pain to change.
Yeah, the arrows are always one type. You can't change the type of the arrow. It'd be cool if you could give it, poison damage or something.
Well, you can with the passive though, right? You could put a passive skill, but then you're changing it. But I think you nailed it there. Like the first 3 or 5 hours, to me, like this game is a 10. This game is perfect. I'm obsessed. I love it. And don't get me wrong, I still love it, but it's definitely more like 8.8 maybe now.
So 8.5. I totally agree though.
And I think that's my last bad comment I'll have is the pacing of the game. You're kind of getting characters at a great pace early on, and you're ranking up at a great pace. And I want to say maybe right around level 20, I don't want to say I hit a wall, but since I was loving the game so much, I was doing everything I could. And I was getting to the point where like all my characters were starting to be ranked B. And I'm like, well, how do I progress any further? And you have to then just, all I'll say is continue the storyline, John. Focus on the story. If you hit a point that you're like, I feel like I'm getting a little stuck or I'm not progressing like I want us to progress, then just do what the story's telling you to do.
Okay.
I think, too much side quest and too much dungeon. But the point is that there's a lot of that to do. There's a lot of side quests. There's a lot of, dungeons. So why wouldn't you want to do them to level up?
Yeah, and I'll answer that question with my last point about the game is the game. I feel like the game forces you to do everything. I don't feel like I can skip a bunch of side quests and just keep advancing. Like I needed to do everything in this area to get the 40 wands.
Oh yeah.
To get through the castle. And certainly like, I'm sure there's a couple things I didn't have to do, but I would have to make up for it. But you've got to do a lot to really get in the castle. In fact, that first castle, you need to do everything.
You do. It opens up a little bit, I'll say, but you're right. Like you do feel like that. And we didn't even talk about it, but the map is fucking huge for a game like this.
It's pretty big.
But they have
I don't know if it's huge. It's that you just can't navigate through it very quickly because there's constantly these stuck points where I can't advance because I don't have the right character, or I can't advance because I don't have enough wands. So they don't let you explore the map. So a lot of the map always feels empty because you just can't get there. And early on, there are some areas that get unlocked that are like for level 30. And it's like, I can't really do anything in there. You can run through and maybe find some items, but like you just have to come back. And it's weird that those areas do unlock and you're like, and I keep accidentally stumbling into them. And I'm like, oh, no, I can't go this way. I would say there's a lot of the time I'm kind of like, where do I go? What do I need to do? And I'll look at the map and I just kind of scan around and I'm like, all right, I think there's a ferry over there. But I feel like I spent a lot of time looking at the map because they really demand that you do so much before you can advance.
And it's kind of a maze, right? So you can't just say, I want to make sure I go to that area because it's like, how do you get to that area? Because it is kind of a maze, all the different paths.
It is, yeah.
But even the treasure chests, like I'm at the point I skip them because like the only thing in there is just gems and some food.
Yeah, it's not like the little ones, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not super essential.
No.
You wouldn't go out of your way to grab them.
Nope. Agreed.
Yeah. Hopefully, I think by the time the next show we do, we'll both be done with this game and have a good...
Oh, yeah.
This is why reviews have to you got to finish a game before you can give an assessment because,
I would have given it a 10. I would have given it a 10. And don't get me wrong, I still love this game.
No, it's very good.
But there's a few things that just make it a pain in the butt.
I called it a Game of the Year contender early on. I would say now there's no way it's Game of the Year, but like I said, it's still very good. And I think we both recommend it.
It's chit chat time.
I should say before we start that Seth Sturgill from All In, and he sent me this clip and he says, "Is this your girl? Is this Sadie?" And I had to listen to this clip and I was like, it's not Sadie, but it was this female British voice and I had to listen to it. I thought that was pretty funny, but
why? What was it from?
It was, I can't remember what it's from. I'll have to send you the link, but it was funny that he thought it might be Sadie.
That's funny.
All right, so let's get into the big news this week. Xenoblade 3 has moved from September to July 29th. Yes. I think about 6 to 7 to 8 weeks earlier than we expected.
The world needed this, John. the video game world needed some good news story, and this is it. This is it for all of us.
Finally, not a delay.
I'm excited. I'm pumped. July 29th is going to be here before we know it.
I was excited about it, and it really does show you that a lot of times games are done much earlier than expected. Xenoblade's done. I do know that it takes about 3 months to go through the printing process for physical games on the Switch. And so that's why a lot of indie games just don't even do it. They go direct digital because they need their money up front more quickly.
Right to the wire. Yep.
So if you think about it now, right now it's April, let's say May, June, July.
It means they just finished. Maybe testing, had fewer bugs and went smoother than they thought. and they're like, why wait? Let's just do it.
I think we know why they moved it, but clearly it was going to be done 2 months early, and then they were going to wait for the 3 months to print it so that it would be released in September. Yeah, so I mean, it's just that they look at their calendar. They don't want games to be too close. They said, we're going to slot you in September. Game's done, great. Monolith can go working on the next game. They don't need this game to start paying off money right away. But yeah, fantastic. And we sort of pondered like why this was for a little while. Before we get into that, I did want to point out that the special edition for this game, do you have any of the special editions of the other Xenoblades? I think
no, I do not.
I don't think I do. I think I wanted the one for Xenoblade 2. I saw it in stores, but I never got it.
Yeah, I mean, what do I do with the book? And it's cool, but like, what am I going to do with it?
I think art books are actually kind of lame.
Yeah.
But the special edition for this game is going to be an exclusive on the My Nintendo store.
That's interesting.
Very interesting, because have you noticed in recent months, Nintendo's really upped their store. They've put a lot more of the Nintendo World Store merchandise on there.
They did. I was looking at it the other day. I think I sent you guys a link. They actually have like Bowser puppets. Like it's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Like they have plushies and stuff like that. So it's some actually good merchandise. They've also been adding slowly to My Nintendo Rewards, right? Some items as well. They just added those Kirby like reusable bags.
Oh my god, yeah, those are funny. Like, and you can get them for free with your coins,
yeah, but then they charge like
pay shipping.
Shipping. I'm like, I don't want them that bad. Like, it's just, it's.
They've done a lot of physical stuff, and the physical stuff hasn't been super impressive compared to the old Nintendo Club.
Oh man,
but awesome. At least they have physical stuff, because for years they didn't have anything physical.
It's free. That's free stuff that they're giving to you,
plus shipping.
Well,
when they did expand the My Nintendo store, I actually bought I bought some pins, but I also bought a Luigi mug.
Ooh.
So that's my everyday mug now. So cool. It's interesting. Like they're just trying to like sell more stuff direct. Now, what a friend of mine said is like, because they've been selling some pre-order stuff, especially with Pokemon as well.
Oh yeah.
And then things got delayed, like when Arceus came out, those were delayed. So the big question is, if you order this special edition from the My Nintendo store, when's it going to show up? Is it going to show up July 29th? Is it going to show up in August?
Oh, that's right.
Risky. So something to think about there. But the special edition will only be available on my Nintendo store. I think I will order from it, because I'm actually not going to be around on July 29th. So if it's a few days late, that's fine.
True.
But yeah. But we did find out soon after that Splatoon 3 got a date for September 9th.
Woo!
So we do have a date. Do you think, here's my theory. Let me tell you my theory. Let me know if you share in it. Do you think Splatoon was really supposed to come out in the summer? Because that's when the other Splatoons have come out. And it's also when kids are home and all that. Do you think Splatoon was going to come out this summer, but needed a delay? And they decided to delay it to September so that they could move up Xenoblade, because they knew it was done. And they moved that up to July.
Now refresh me. Nintendo is a publisher of Xenoblade?
Yes.
Right. So they have some stake in it, right? I mean, they're not the full owner of the franchise, let's say, but the IP.
Publisher, they are advertising the heck out of it. It's an exclusive, yes.
I mean, they'd have to go work with, was it Monolith or somebody?
Monolith Soft.
So, I mean, they have a working relationship with them, but they're going to have to say, hey, are you guys ready to move up? And they're publishing it. They know what's going on.
I think they knew.
I mean, it made sense. I mean, I don't think it would be the end of the world to release them in the same month, to be honest. I really don't. I don't think they're the same audience, but
I mean, are you going to play Splatoon 3?
Yeah, I'll get it to play with the community and stuff. Absolutely.
Are you going to play Xenoblade 3?
Yeah, I am.
Same audience.
All it would do is it would hinder my advancement in Splatoon, I guess. Yeah, you're right.
I think a lot of the same audience is going to be playing these games.
Yeah.
But I think they knew they could move Xenoblade up. They looked around, what can we move up? And they announced that first, because they didn't want to say,
It was delayed.
Splatoon, yeah, like they never gave a date with Splatoon.
They didn't.
So they didn't want to say Splatoon is going to be delayed. They didn't give a date, luckily. But yeah, I mean, I think they wanted Splatoon to come out in summer, and they knew it couldn't happen, and so they moved this up.
Do you think this means, though, there's even less of a surprise now for late fall, early winter from Nintendo?
Are you thinking like some other big game's going to come out?
I still think some type of Mario has to come out.
I think so too.
It blows my mind that they don't have a new Mario game, not a remake.
Because the movie's coming out.
Yeah, I don't know if it really will. I mean, I don't know. I personally, my feeling would be they would never just make a movie type game. I don't see the point of that when you have a franchise like Mario. But at the same time, when have we ever had a Mario movie? I mean, once, obviously, but you know what I'm saying? Like, would they do that?
Interesting.
Because think about it. When has a movie video game ever really been that good? I mean,
yeah, but now that you say it, like, what if the plot of the movie is going to be the plot of a game that we don't know? I mean, it doesn't. When you get a movie-based game,
right?
When you get a movie-based game, they just try to shoehorn in the story and whatever. Yeah, but this is Nintendo. They've been working on this movie for like 4 years.
Correct.
And they've probably been they could be working on a game that's coming out 4 years. It doesn't mean they have to imitate the movie, but the storylines could be very similar. Possible.
It could be. I mean, I hope to God it's not like it's going to be like, how, like they do, like they start off with like humans and somehow it gets wrapped into an animated video game or movie. Right. And then at the end, it's back to the human people sitting in their chair like, whoa, okay, that was cool. I hope it's not that. And I hope it's just a straight animation movie.
There is a very good chance it will be that, because
they get sucked into the TV or they get sucked into the
I mean, you got Charlie Day
Mario game.
Right. I mean, how do you going to explain why Charlie Day and all these guys, Chris Pratt, are involved?
So do you think that's it? You have Chris Pratt sitting on the couch with, and Jack Black is like his boss at work that he hates, and he gets sucked into the video game now somehow. And then
I'm not saying that that's what it's going to be. I'm just saying that's very feasibly possible.
Because how I mean, is the story just going to be, if it doesn't do something like that, is it just going to be like a regular Mario story where Mario has to go save Princess Peach? I don't think so either.
No, you just can't do that. It's not a story. I think it'll be good. I just don't know what's going to be. We should be finding details really soon.
And if we don't, I mean, it can't be delayed.
It's not going to be delayed. No, they've been working on it way too long. And you're like, it might be because they're doing it with a game.
Illuminations, right? They're the ones that just did the new Despicable Me movie that was supposed to be done. Like, it was supposed to come out in 2020. And then they pushed it out because of the pandemic, and it still isn't out in the theater.
Oh, really?
2 years later.
I mean, I think we've seen now that you can pull in really good sales in the movie theater now.
Agreed. I think now's the time.
Yeah.
So anyways, do you think there's going to be a Mario game tied to it?
I think it's possible. I wouldn't be surprised at all. And I mean, they could shoot that. They can put that in November. I don't know.
Let me rephrase my question. Do you want that?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. That'd be cool. I mean, if you're going to put out a Mario movie, I mean, granted, you can make a Mario movie and then people will still buy Mario Odyssey and stuff, but they're going to, at the very least, market Mario around that time. You're going to see advertisements in stores with the Mario movie in the game section.
Oh, you're right. You're going to have Happy Meal toys. You're going to have toys at Target. You're going to have everything. I agree.
Yes.
And it's going to be the animation of what the movie looks like, a toy line of that. I agree. It's going to be everything.
But there's going to be games, and so they're just going to throw Odyssey on the shelf? They could.
You're right. That'd be a weird mixed messaging.
Right. Yes.
Right. If there's this new animation, you want to have a toy line, a video game, the Happy Meal. You want everything. You want it all.
And you're going to say, we haven't had a new Mario game in 5 years and the movie's coming out. And this is a franchise that hasn't seen a new game in 5 years.
I really hope it's a very unique new style of Mario game then. Yeah, I want this to be the Super Mario 2 of this era.
Wart's coming back.
Yes.
That would be cool.
What's next? What else we got?
All right. There was a tweet. And it was a tweet of a lady. Now, this is a tweet, so who knows if the story is real. So we'll just call it a meme, I guess. And it says, woman risks life to save husband's Gundam collection during intense flood. And it's this woman in this rafting boat, and she's got all of these collector's editions and stuff of Gundam stuff. And I just thought it was fascinating. So here's my question to you, Drew.
Can I have a question first?
Yeah, you can have a question first.
What the fuck is Gundam?
It's a robot, dude. It's very big in Japan.
Okay.
Gundam was actually in the Ready Player One book and the movie. I think one of the Japanese characters. Yeah.
You're right. Okay. Sorry. So anyway.
It's huge in Japan. It is.
Gotcha.
And here in some ways. But if there was a huge flood in Rhode Island, certainly possible in Rhode Island.
Yeah, sure. We're near the ocean.
What's the stupidest shit that you would have in your boat? And then really, it's two questions. What's the stupidest shit that you would save in your own collection or whatever in your boat? Would your wife do that?
So my wife would be panicking like, get the kids. I'd be like,
the kids
where's
first.
Goomba?
Right.
Goomba would be my first. Gotta save Goomba.
Before the kids? Or you're just saying in addition to...
Probably snatch up Goomba in my left arm first. And then go for the kids.
And your wife's like, what about Evan? And you're like, oh, yeah.
Oh, shit. I mean, yeah. I don't know. I mean, artificial stuff. I mean, replaceable. I'm looking at my plushies like, fuck that. Sorry, guys, but you're gone. Like, I can't save you all.
If you could save one plushie, which one would you grab? Is it your lap plushie, or you're not using lap plushies?
I don't use lap plushies.
You're not doing my plushie thing. I don't know.
I tried it. It felt weird.
You need a desk pillow, man.
I do. I am a big fan of my Polter Pup.
Let's see it.
Polter Pup. Oh, I gotta get him. Hold on. Polter Pup.
Okay, yeah, the Polter Pup from Luigi's Mansion.
Oh, it's pretty. There he is. Got the big tongue sticking out there. He's a cool dude. I don't know. I like the green Bowser one too, King Koopa, but he's replaceable. I can get him again. I did most of these again.
Yeah.
I don't know. What about you? I mean, do you have anything that you'd like go back to? I don't think there's really anything like tangible that I would. Oh my god, I need to go get that. I mean, because let's be honest, both of us have large collections where you're not gonna be able to get all of it.
Correct. No, I'm looking at it now, and there's nothing I could grab. There's nothing that I could see that'd be like, I absolutely have to grab that. It would be the end of my world. It's just stuff. But I would feel tempted to like grab like my boxed NES games, probably. Yeah, now that I look back at it, I'm like kind of panicking, like, oh my god, what do I grab?
Do you have insurance on your collection?
No.
Take pictures.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
I don't.
Is pictures good enough? If your house burned down and you had pictures, would your insurance cover?
Pictures are good to have. Yeah.
Right? You know what I'm saying?
There's a limit. Like, you need extended insurance if you have something specific or huge.
It's like when you get married, you add the ring and the jewelry insurance.
Right. Yeah. You'd want to get extended stuff. I've never looked into it, and in fact, I sell my really expensive stuff, especially the stuff that has no sentimental value to me. Like I told you, that Super Mario RPG, I was like, it goes for $400. I'm fucking selling it.
Yeah,
because I don't want it to get damaged in a fire or something. And it's like, I'm selling it. Like, why? I don't care.
Since we're on this topic, I want to bring up another question. Because I ever since we had Brett on our show, right, the world's largest video game collector.
He has insurance.
God, if he doesn't, fool on him. But I joined his Facebook group. Remember? Are you in that Facebook group?
Oh, no, I'm not. I'm not really on Facebook much.
Well, I joined it, and there's some really cool posts that they put on there and stuff, the memorabilia stuff. But my question for you is, at what point does collecting get to be too much, right? Like, how many more plushies before I say I have enough plushies? How many more NES games before you say, like, I have too many NES games? At what point is there such thing as too much of something?
I honestly think with plushies, you have it easy. Because there's no way you can collect them all, right? There's so many cheap ass flat plushies, expensive plushies, rare ones, international. You can't get them all. You're smarter if you just go, I'm going to collect all the Kirby plushies I can find, right? Then you're just getting the same one. I know one of the people on Cinemassacre collects Gengar stuff, the Pokemon, the purple Pokemon. And I think that's a cool collection because it's not infinite, and you're going to have a hard time finding some of it. And it ends up being this beautiful purple collection. Mm-hmm. So I think you have it easy with plushies. I think where collecting can get hard is if, like me, when I was collecting all the NES games.
Yeah, that's
because
tough.
At first it's like, oh, cool, this one's $3, this one's $5. Oh, I got this one free from a friend. Then by the end, it's like, this one is $15,000. This one is $10,000. And very early on, I stopped collecting the unlicensed games because I realized a lot of the unlicensed games, which didn't get a lot wide distribution, so they're more expensive now, are like really shitty games or like halfway pornographic games or games that are just nearly impossible to find. And they're thousands and thousands of dollars, and it's like for garbage. So I said, no, I'm collecting licensed games, and I literally sold all my unlicensed stuff. So I think it really helps when you collect to narrow down your collection to something reasonable. So if the addiction takes over, you're not like this endless pit of. I had a friend who bought a Italian NES in the box, and I just immediately said no. Like when you start going international, now it's like I want to buy the Japanese NES and the Italian NES, and it's like no, unless that's the only thing you're collecting, then go for it. Get the NES in all the different countries you can. Go for it. But he was trying to collect everything. And it's like, dude, you'll never hit it. You'll just keep buying so much shit. And it'll get out of control. So I think that's where you just have to learn to set bounds for yourself so you keep yourself under control. You don't want to be spending thousands of dollars for stuff that not only doesn't have any meaning to you, but also you really, once you buy it and put it on the shelf, you almost don't even give a shit about it anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's tough. But yeah, some of these guys' collection they have on there, it's just like I said, ridiculous. They don't, and then when you don't even know what you have, right? That's the tricky part. That starts to get tough. But anyways,
that's a good point too. You spend like $80 on a game, you put it on a shelf, and your collection looks like it's the same size, and you're like, okay.
I know, and it's like, what are you going to do with that? It's an expensive collection to show off. But all right, what is stats, John?
Another big topic, Netflix has been in the news this week. Have you heard?
I have.
So first we saw that Netflix was trying to cut down on people sharing subscriptions.
They've always have been, but really locking it in. Yep.
Yeah. And you know what? I think it's fair for them wanting to do it.
I think it's 100% fair.
Yeah. Because
people are cheap bastards. I hate to say it. Like, I personally am against people that just want to freeload stuff. I don't know. I get it. Nobody wants to spend money, but you don't spend money on this shit. You don't get season 4 of Stranger Things. Simple. And we want that.
And I get it because, what's Netflix's subscription up to? Like 15, 16, 17 bucks. Yep. It's gotten expensive. I remember it used to be $7. It's gotten expensive. There's HBO Max, which is $15 a month. Hulu could be like 10, 11, 12.
Disney
Plus.
And
we're kind of like, Disney Plus is, I know, like went up $1 at least from when it began.
Yep.
And like, we're kind of like, everybody wants all the services. So I understand where it's like, like it's an expensive subscription. Maybe I'll share it with somebody. A lot of people who say they share it though, I feel like they're not like calling up their friend or their family member. Hey, you owe me, let me say $6 for the month. Like that's not happening. No. I think it's sort of like, maybe I'll get Netflix and give you my password. You get HBO Max, give me your password. Yeah. We're mutually set. So I don't think people are really bad for doing that. I totally get it. Like a lot of people want a lot of services. Paramount will come out with something and then Paramount has the Halo show, and then Disney Plus has this show that I need to see Mandalorian. Everyone has their must-see show. But at the same time, I think it's also perfectly fair that Netflix says, look, no, I mean, like you get a subscription. It's for you. It's for your family. That's it. So I see both sides. It's fine. So it's perfectly valid for them to do that. Yep. But the other thing that we saw is that they're losing subscribers. I don't think this is in relation to the sharing. People thought, oh, now they're going to lose subscribers. No, I think they're losing subscribers because it's expensive.
Agree. I think it's expensive, and but it is a little surprising. I still think Netflix is one of the big competitors, but I mean, HBO stepping up their game. Mm-hmm. Right? HBO now is doing these, Batman's on there. I mean, Batman came out like 2 weeks ago, and now you can watch it for free on HBO. Like, so these other people, right? Disney Plus started slow, but we all knew that. But now they have a lot of Star Wars and Marvel, all the brand new animated movies that are coming out. So like they have a lot to offer. Never mind the backlot. If you have kids, I mean, you got to do it.
That was originally, it was just to get at the Disney backlog. Now it's all the original shows.
So, I mean, Netflix was the leader in the clubhouse, right? And I think to your point is now people can't afford, like you said, Paramount Plus is another oddball one. Discovery Plus is an oddball one. So there's all these other random ones too. It's tough. There's a lot.
That's what's been fascinating about it is that I think I remember. Okay, I got the trial for Showtime when the new Dexter season. I forgot about.
Yeah. Yep.
And then I think we paid for like a month, maybe 2. And I didn't mind it because I wanted to throw Showtime some money to see Dexter. And but then I canceled it and I felt bad. But I can't keep all these services. Nobody's going to have all of these services. So password sharing is inevitable because nobody wants to pay for 10 different monthly subscriptions because once you get that many, you can't watch them enough to justify.
Let me ask you this. Are we entering an age of, let's call it, cable 2.0? And what I mean by that is Verizon, Fios, or whatever the other big ones that are out out west, going to come out with a package that say, for $150 a month, it now includes HBO Max, it includes Netflix, it includes Disney Plus, just like you get your local CBS, NBCs. Is it going to become another channel like cable has? And then cable companies going to. I'm just saying, it might be. Is cable companies going to be making a comeback?
Well, we've seen that cable systems. Like I know because my in-laws have cable, and they say, "Oh, they have Netflix on our cable," and they have to pay.
Of course, it's just a channel.
Yeah, they have to pay the full monthly membership for it. So it's like you're not getting it as part of your service, but they kind of interlock it. And we've seen even some of the services say you can get HBO Max through this, but you still have to pay $15 for it. There's never been a discount.
I pay Verizon for YouTube TV.
Right.
And I mean I pay $120 a month for YouTube TV and my internet. So that's pretty good, right? But now when I add on all my other shit, I'm right back to like probably $200 a month.
Right. And that's why you can't have all the services. And we rotate them here. We rotate them.
That's smart.
So I do I'll do Hulu Live during it's just like your YouTube TV.
Okay.
During football season so that I can watch the Bronco games. And then when the Super Bowl ends, the plan is I disable it. And so I don't have Hulu Live. And then when August comes back, I'll probably get it again. We've gone with some other services where we went like a couple months without Disney. And like I said, I'd like to roll off HBO. But right now, HBO Max is my favorite service because of the movies.
It's
and they have some really good shows.
I love it for the new movies. It's like Batman, and we'll maybe talk about it in another episode, but I really wanted to see Batman, but I didn't want to see it enough to go to the movie theater.
That's 3 hours.
Exactly. But at home, I'll watch it. And, and again, we'll talk about it at a later date. Yep. But that's the shit that I love with HBO. That's they're killing it. But
and we also saw I have to add to this, CNN Plus launched last month and they're already shutting it down.
Oh god, I didn't know about that one.
I think what you're seeing is people don't want to add all these services. I think if some of them bundle together, like what do you get? Like Hulu, ESPN, and Disney Plus, you can get a bundle.
And I think they own like National Geographic, so you get a little bit of that stuff too.
Right. Like that's okay. I would never get ESPN Plus, but
no, but that's the bundle. It's only like $15 or $16. That's a good price for all of that.
You essentially get ESPN Plus for free, and you still get a little tiny discount on Hulu and Disney by getting the bundle.
Correct. And ESPN Plus has like a lot of good live sporting events. Like I know a lot of golf events they'll cover.
Right. But I would never pay for it. Like, well, but if you bundle them, like if Netflix got together and said, hey, let's do a Netflix HBO Max bundle for $25. At least you're saving some money and you'll stay locked in. So I think you're going to see more of that. But for now, like I'll drop them for a couple months if there's nothing. Like if there's no movies coming out on HBO Max for a little while, I'll drop it for a couple months, and then come back to it. And then you come back and you can watch Batman and you can like kind of binge a little bit.
But that's what I'm thinking. Cable 2.0. If someone told you for $60 a month you can get Disney Plus, HBO, Netflix, and Hulu, I mean, wouldn't you do it?
I'd have to add up the numbers, but yeah, I would be happy to do a little package.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that would lock you in.
It would.
Do you think that they're going to start doing, because like, and I want to talk about Game Pass when this, but we've not seen any of these streaming services do like pay for a year. That's another thing.
Oh, well, Disney did, right? When Disney Plus first came out, they did a 3-year subscription, and I signed up for that.
Okay.
And it was super cheap. I want to say it was like $200 for 3 years.
Well, didn't it start at like $7 or $8 a month?
It was fairly cheap.
Okay, so but you got a discount. I mean, $200 is not cheap, but you're going to save for like
3 years,
$50 or $60 in 3 years.
I'd say at least.
Yeah, but I mean, you're paying up front. But didn't they get rid of that? They don't still have that, do they?
No, that was like supposed to be before it even came out.
Okay. I think you'll see more services do that because what is the value of if I drop Netflix for like, let's say 3 months and then I come back and I just watch all the shows that came on during those 3 months and then dropped it for 3 more months. I mean, unless you need to see things day one, you kind of get that content and you go. Yeah. And even with something like Stranger Things, which is coming out in 2 parts, you might want to just wait until the second part, because, and then wait for the second part and then wait to get Netflix then. I think that's going to be the correction because CNN Plus suffers from the fact, CNN is kind of tries to be both sides of the political aisle. And so they're always pissing off people when they should really just kind of commit to one. But like, I don't want to pay a monthly fee for CNN Plus. I mean, I want to get some entertainment, something fun. I don't want cable. Yeah, cable news kind of is exhausting and nonsensical. And it's like, I'm going to pay a subscription to get more cable news. So you're seeing a lot of these services drop. But I did want to point out.
Yeah, you have some facts here. Let's go over these.
Yeah. Netflix was alone for a long time. They were the only game in town. And even when there was some competition, it got blown out of the water. And now, like you said, only now you have Disney, HBO Max, which are huge competitors. And now we're seeing some of those second tier ones like Hulu, Paramount. They're starting to compete for dollars, right? But with Game Pass has been the big player in town. There is PS Now, but PS Now has never been a very sexy thing because like they give you some games, but they don't give you the day one games. It doesn't make a huge impact. What happens, let's say in June, PS Now rebrands to PS Plus. Let's say they decide after hearing the criticisms and everything that they go, all right, Horizon Forbidden West will be on our platform and God of War will be there day one, right? And people start going, oh, yeah. There's a PlayStation thing, whatever. What happens if Nintendo does one? What happens if there's one that goes across different consoles?
I want Disney Plus to have one.
Have what?
Enter the gaming market.
Oh, I see. So have like a service of Disney games.
Yeah.
Right. So what happens if all of these services start coming? Because eventually you might see that from Game Pass. We hear all the time people say, I mean, I've heard it on Game Pass News all the time. Phil Spencer, what a name. I mean, Phil Spencer, my God, wants Game Pass on all the consoles. And now you can make the argument, PlayStation will never let Game Pass News on their console, right? Game Pass. I'm going to do the same thing. However, what if all of these services were on all the consoles? Wouldn't that make it like, what's a Game Pass subscription? The last I think we heard was like 25 million subscribers on Game Pass. Now it starts getting competition. Look at what is happening with Netflix. They're losing subscribers. Their stock went from $687 in November to today, $215. They're losing subscribers and they've been charging more. They're constantly raising their rates because the only way for them to compete is more original programming, right? Original programming is what keeps people locked into your service. They've been doing more and more and more. And it costs money. They have a huge anime studio. They have a huge movie studio. Right. They have so many shows. And I could go into this for an hour that they have way too many shows. They have too many garbage shows.
They have a lot of garbage.
Yeah.
But so let me throw out the Stranger Things stat because this blew my mind. $30 million per an episode, John, for season 4.
How?
Well, here's my problem. Do you know how much Game of Thrones was per an episode? 15 million. So it's literally double.
Are they paying the actors, you think? Or they're just because I mean the trailer for the new season is like it looks like a movie.
I know. It looks ridiculous, but you're right. It's got to be actors at this point. Maybe the actors had like a 3-year contract, so to sign them on for a 4th year and a 5th year must have been big butts.
And it could be an average too. Like the whole season took. I mean, how many episodes are there? 8, 10?
Yeah.
The whole thing took like 300 million, and this is just an average.
And maybe the last 2 episodes, are blown away with CGI. But I mean, all the CGI stuff looks fantastic.
The trailer looks great.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like what Stranger Things was in the beginning, but I mean, it's.
We actually just watched. We have 2 episodes left of season 3. We watched all the seasons again.
I love season 3. I hated season 2.
Season 2 is terrible. Season 1's awesome. Season 2 is just like the whole thing with 11 and going to Chicago. It's weird.
Right.
It was like a filler, but season 3 was great with
the mall,
and then the 2 kids.
Yeah, I love Steve too.
Steve, yeah, Jonathan Sutz, Team Steve.
What happens when these gaming services start really competing? Because they're really not competing right now. They're locked onto consoles. But if you could go on Xbox and you could choose between Game Pass, PS Plus, Nintendo, Disney, if you had that, what happens to something like Game Pass where now they're competing? So when a new big game is coming out, right? Because it's going to happen. Some big game's going to come out and they're going to compete to try to get that game on their service. And somebody's going to spend a lot of money. What's a big game that's coming out, right? Like, let me try to think of some games that are coming out. But I know for like fact when Cyberpunk was coming out, people were like, oh, they're going to put Cyberpunk on Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
And then imagine if PlayStation's like, well, we're going to do it. So we're going to pay them a lot more. And then Microsoft's like, all right, we're going to pay you a lot more. Now suddenly the services aren't as profitable. Bless you. Services aren't as profitable because they're competing with each other and they have to pay more for these exclusive games to come on their console. So even just when PS Plus rebrands in June, if they try to go all in, that's going to raise the rates for Microsoft to try to get these games because PS Plus is going to try to get some of these games and they're going to overpay, or Microsoft is going to have to overpay to make them exclusives. So this is something that's going to hit those gaming services down the road. The same thing that Netflix is going through right now. That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
So it's important to pay attention to this. Anything on that, or I think we can maybe go to some questions.
Let's do some questions. We've
been at it for a good long time. All right, first question that we have from Dat Fast. If you could only choose one, what would it be? This is a crazy question, by the way. This was on Nintendo Dad, so I just want to say. You can only choose one, Drew.
Okay.
Your favorite game from the past is getting a remake or sequel, and the developer calls you up to be director. 2, you discover a magic closet in your home where time doesn't pass and you can catch up on your backlog.
Huh.
Or 3, a lifetime supply of your favorite food.
Whew.
It's a KFC chicken sandwiches.
I'm gonna eliminate 2. I don't really have a backlog per se. Lifetime supply of your favorite food. I mean, I don't know if I need to get any fatter than I am.
What would it be?
Lifetime supply of, I don't know. I don't have like a go-to favorite.
I've always regarded my favorite food as nachos, but for this list, I would choose. I'm not saying I would choose this option, but it would be the KFC spicy chicken sandwiches.
That'd be a good thing. A chicken sandwich should be good. I like
that. Would be a
chicken
fun
wing too. Maybe unlimited chicken wings.
Oh shit! Unlimited chicken wings would kill us.
Yeah, but
the show would be off the air by 2023.
Dead. Found dead.
Dead and happy.
I guess I would go number 1 just because, like I said, I would remake Gauntlet Legends, bring it back.
And you be the director. What would you change? Like, would anything you change, or what would you want?
I'd probably add some new classes, maybe. New classes, some fun level designs.
That's it. All right.
I don't know. I didn't think about it. I mean,
I would say the same thing with 2. I mean, I have a backlog, but I don't need to stop time to play it. I don't put a lot into... I'm not the kind of guy that's like, oh, I need to play that. Oh, I need to play that. Oh, I need to play that. It's just like, it's fine. I want to play enjoyable games all the time. But that's okay. I don't need infinite time. Lifetime supply of chicken sandwiches would be neat,
or
but
chicken wings.
We'd be dead, or chicken wings. So I guess I'll go with number 1, too. As we all know, my favorite game is Life is Strange. And I guess it would be interesting to do the remake or the sequel. I would definitely do a sequel to the original Life is Strange, because we've never gotten that one with the same story. I think people are dying to see a sequel, and I think we will eventually get a sequel. But I would make it sort of look a lot like, True Colors or whatever. I think we'd do some cool things with it. So that would be fun. That would be fun to do. And interesting because there's multiple endings to the first game. So which ending do you start from? That would be an interesting way to go. All right, Dad Fast. Next question is from Ibisel. Is Drew happy you're spending his money on the 1-Up Club? Do you understand this question? Because I can explain it.
Is this the Kit and Krista thing?
This is the Kit and Krista. So I'm on their top tier Patreon. What? And at the end of their episodes, they read the list of the 1-Up Club. And you will actually hear the Nintendo...
Wait, are you spending our money?
I'm spending my money. No, it's not coming out of our money. But yeah, they read off the Dads After Dark show now at the end of their episodes. So awesome.
Wait, is it every episode or was it just one?
Every episode. I kind of feel they've got a shitload of top tier people.
Really? You think they'll change soon?
What did I say? I think it's like 60 people. It's a big...
Stop it. They read 60 names every week.
They take a couple of minutes and they have papers in front of them and they read off the names.
Do they ever say like
music.
Dads After Dark? What the fuck is that? Or is there too many to comment on it?
No, I've only gotten named once because I did it a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
They just read through them. Sometimes they have fun like butchering some of the names.
But it's every other one just a name? Are we the only ones that's sort of weird show?
I don't think there's any other shows that are named. Most of them are names or handles.
Yeah.
My Patreon is just under our name.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is weird. And I think maybe they got way more than they bargained for. And at some point they might have to either up the tier or something, because it's like they end their podcast with this list. And it's a long list.
What are their...
But it's funny because on the Discord
nowadays,
there is a channel called 1-Up Club.
Okay.
And I love to go in there and just pretend we're like the 1%ers. We're like the first class flyers on the plane. And like, so I'll go in that channel and go, can someone pass the caviar? And, we'll have little monocle emoji and stuff like that. Oh, it's a good time. All right. Next question is from Max Power.
Oh,
he asks us, what are top 5 favorite bands, musicians?
Top 5. All right. Did we have this question before?
Did we have it before?
Maybe not.
I don't know. I don't think we've ever even talked about it.
Real Big Fish. Yes, that's the band you see in basketball. Smash Mouth. Maybe back in the day. Maybe not so much anymore. Maybe I was younger days. Soja. I feel like we've talked about this, but I'm going to keep going.
Soja.
Soja. Yep, a little reggae action in there. Cake. All right, big Cake fan.
I can really see your sort of sweet spot.
Yeah,
like Smash Mouth and Cake were.
Yep.
Very similar.
I want to do another throwback. I'm going to say my wife hates me for it, but Sugar Ray. Gotta love a good Sugar Ray soundtrack.
Didn't he die?
Did he?
Did he die?
Yeah, that'd be sad. I don't think so.
Was it, or it was someone else died? I feel like Sugar Ray.
Oh, Blink-182 was classic too. Sugar Ray, I don't think.
Who's the lead singer of Sugar Ray? No, I think they're still around.
That's the drummer.
Mark McGrath. Okay, yeah, I don't think
he's
there was another band around that time where the lead singer died.
Okay. What about you? I mean, that's about they're all similar in genre, I guess you'd say.
Yeah. I gotta say, like, my number one has to be Weird Al.
He's coming up on tour, I think, like this week in my area.
Yeah. He's just, I've grown up with the guy.
Yeah.
I'm watching his TV show on Disney Plus. Got to meet him luckily a couple years back. Paid some extra money for tickets. But my whole life has just kind of been since like I was a kid with Weird Al, and he's still great up to his last album. He's still hilarious. So he's just never gotten bad. If anything, he's gotten better over the years. I gotta say, like right now, my number 2, guilty pleasure, but they're my number 2 is some K-pop bands. Blackpink is like always my number 1, but ITZY, I love ITZY. If you haven't like listened to K-pop, those are the 2 bands I would recommend. They have some really cool songs. System of a Down has always been a favorite of mine. I got to see them in concert for a little bit when they kind of reunited for like a month. But I love them. I like my like sort of like social progressive rock. Rage Against the Machine is another one.
Classic.
Yeah. And Slipknot is always my favorite. It's kind of a band that
I know them.
They've never gotten bad. So I guess I'm like a new metal kid. Slipknot, Korn. I'm definitely a bigger Slipknot fan. I haven't gone through all of Korn's albums. They have a lot. Slipknot, I've heard all of their albums a gazillion times, and they just never get bad. They're really good.
Have you heard of OAR?
No, I'm not even sure I've heard of the band.
I've seen them probably like my wife's obsessed. I've probably seen them 8 times in concert.
Mm-hmm.
You probably, if you listen to some of their popular songs, you'd be like, "Oh, I know this song."
I'll look them up.
They're not huge, but yeah, OAR.
Yeah, I'll look them up.
Of a Revolution is what it stands for.
Of a Revolution,
but they go by OAR.
I always loved Marilyn Manson too, but I mean, he's kind of
what's all this hard rock shit? You have like.
You got to get your anger out sometimes.
I guess so.
I can't listen to Marilyn. I loved Marilyn, but I mean, he's such an asshole, and he's been a dick. Wow. And he's like he gained a bunch of weight, and he goes on the stage and he just lazes through shows now, so it's really hard to respect the guy anymore. But I still love Slipknot and Rage and all them. I mean, they broke up. System of a Down broke up. I mean, a lot of my bands are dead and gone. And then I've always told you I love like Lilith Fair music. Like, so, I got my hellbent female music, Tori Amos, Liz Phair, PJ Harvey, Fiona Apple. I can listen to that stuff all day. So good question.
There you go.
Last question from, great name here. Bon Jalanko.
Must be your cousin.
And this came from a conversation that I had today with my wife.
Oh, well,
Drew, if you had boobs, like nice boobs,
like a nice C.
Let's say C to D. Like, let's not get crazy, but just had some nice boobs.
Nice.
How slutty would your social media photos be?
I gotta return the question and say, did my name come up when you talked to your wife about this?
No, but
okay,
after our conversation, I said I think I'm going to ask that question to Drew tonight.
All right, great. I'm going to ask another follow-up question. Married or single?
Single.
Oh man, I have like an OnlyFans. I'd be killing it. I'd be all over the internet.
I would too. I don't know if I would do an OnlyFans.
But I would definitely nowadays.
Well, okay, but I would like my social media pictures would be like, camera high down. Hey, like. Yeah,
but why not show them off and get money in the process, right? I mean, you don't give it for free.
I think you got to show up a lot more on an OnlyFans. I don't know if I'm prepared to go there with my new boobs.
Maybe Twitch.
No, I don't know. I don't know if I would do that.
No hot tub time machine for you.
What's hot tub time machine? Oh no,
just, the hot tubs on Twitch. It's just
I'm thinking of the movie.
I know. I don't know why I combined the two.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'd be all over the web.
I want to ask this question to our listeners.
Okay.
You can respond to our tweet with the show, but like, how slutty would your pictures be? We want to know. And if you have them, have you been slutty? Let us know. Ebicel?
If you have boobs?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Marty? Justin? Come on. I want to hear your answers to this question.
That's a little conspiracy there.
I'm not saying they do have them. I'm just saying I want to hear the Nintendo.
I mean, everybody has boobs. Just a matter of how nice they are.
I guess technically you're right?
Nobody wants to see my boobs.
I mean, yeah, you can, but we don't have nice boobs. So that's the question, right? Not like
if you had nice boobs.
Right. Yeah, like we can kind of squish together and get something going.
Yeah.
I mean, I got a hairy chest.
If I zoomed, speaking of hairy chest,
Manscaped.
Are you what's your take on shaving your chest?
I've never done it.
I've never done it. I feel like I'm starting to get to the point where I might want to just run the lawnmower, maybe up the cutter a little bit. I don't want to take too much, but just like a little.
Yeah, that could get itchy.
Little trim.
If you gave it a trim and it was itchy, you would be miserable.
Well, I don't think it would. Would it be itchy though if you just trim it a little bit?
I'm just saying.
Oh my god! Like, think about it on your shirt. Oh, you'd
be like all day. You'd be like, Argh!
I'd just be people walking into my office, and I'd just be stretching my tits like.
Be out of there soon. If I was ever gonna shave, I would shave my back. But the problem I have is if you've got someone. I don't have like heavy hair. I'm thankfully my dad is like heavy hair. I've been pretty light hair, but I'm Italian, so I've got a hairy chest, hairy arm, hairy back. Not very heavy in the back, but like patches. So I've gotten off easy.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I would shave my back. I would wax my back or whatever. But here's the question: where's the line?
I know. And then once you start, is it like you're opening up a can of worms?
Yeah, because what do you do? Is leave like a hard edge? I mean, like that would look ridiculous.
So do you do your shoulders?
Yeah, like so then you're gonna, and eventually you just have to go complete clean. But then if you're like, I guess you would just go to your like bathing suit line. But then you have hairy legs and then clean body, and is that gonna look weird?
Sounds like a.
So there's no way to do it. You'd have to go all the way. Even then, if you wax your backs and then eventually you end up like shaving your whole upper body. And then, like, if you go to the beach, you're like, okay, I don't have to shave my, over here. But then you shave your legs up into where your bathing suit is. But then, like, what happens if you're like...
I think you're expanding it. You don't have to shave your legs because you do a little trim on your chest.
But where's the line on the legs?
Well, I think if you're trimming, I think it's different. Trimming versus waxing, I feel like there's a big difference.
Okay. You can trim everywhere.
That's fine. But then
once you're going to shave...
I agree with the shave / wax gets dicey.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're right. There's going to be a hard... It's like when you put sunscreen on. You ever try putting sunscreen on your back by yourself? Because you only can reach so far.
You can't, yeah.
You can't do it. It's the same thing with the shave. You're going to have to... And then you bring in a second party and you don't have to have Michelle shave your back and then it gets awkward and it's like...
Yeah. Yeah, it's...
Anyways, boobs. Stuff. Back to boobs. What would you do? Would you be a slut or would you be a good girl? Or guy with boobs?
I wouldn't go full slut, but like... I would cleavage it up a lot.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm going full slut. I'm making money off of it.
If I knew I could make like Amaranth money or anything approaching that, would.
She's not a slut. Well, we don't know. We never did their OnlyFans.
No, and I don't even like the term slut, right? I mean, she's just like, she's just showing off and making money.
When does it become slut, though? Does it become slut once you're completely nude?
I don't believe in slut.
I'm not sure what that means, but
you know what I mean? Like, remember when we were kids and they're like, oh, this girl, she like had sex with Joey and then she had sex with Ronald. Like, what a slut. And it's like, the girl wants to have sex. Like, we should encourage.
But what if she was like giving a blowjob under the stairs in the school hallway?
Why do we want to dissuade from that? You could be next.
I'm down. But
yes.
It could still be a slut.
Like, what do you like? It's so funny because we'll sit there and say, God, I'm sitting with my leg folded. But we can sit there and say, like, girls shouldn't do that. And it's like, hey, girls want to do that. Great. Like,
I guess you're right. No, you're right. Because, like, what if you got your dick sucked by like 3 different girls? Are you a slut?
You're a slut.
Guys are sluts then.
I mean, guys are the biggest sluts.
You're right.
And you need a willing partner.
Sluts. You're always thinking about it. You're right. We're the sluts.
A girl can't sleep around unless there's a guy sleeping with them. It's really one of the dumbest things.
But yeah, we did a cool name like, he's a player.
I know.
No, she's a slut.
Yeah, he's a gigolo. Like Amaranth, I don't want to discourage Amaranth at all. So like, I don't want to call her a slut, but like,
not either.
To say like, would you show off your, cleavage? I mean, God, even I saw a picture of Krista on Instagram, and she's got some cleavage showing. So like she's the chains are off there, right? She's going to use what she has. So Amaranth is just like, hey, I can make a bunch of
show.
If you what's that?
Krista doesn't really have much to show, does she?
No, no, she doesn't have like Amaranth chest, but if you look at her Instagram, she's got a loose hanging shirt and there's some cleavage.
Well, we just eliminated ever having them on the show.
Was she ever? No, but she said I was her favorite.
She did.
But yeah, like if you told me I could make even like a quarter of what Amaranth makes, I might do it.
I mean, I'd show my tits for $100.
Gosh. If I PayPal'd you 100 right now, would you do it live?
I'll lift my shirt up right now for you.
If I paid you $100 to never lift your shirt,
I'll take
that'd be a better deal. If I paid 100 though, and then we put this on Twitter, if I said I'm going to share this with the world,
but now that's dirty. What if that's like selling my body with not my consent?
But if I made the deal with you, would you do it?
Part of the deal,
right?
I mean, I just sent out the world of me with my eggplant. That sounded weird, but yeah, I mean, that was.
I love that eggplant. It looks so like it's fake.
It's a great. I should have posted the picture of the bots along with that. Tells the better story.
That's one of the products where it's like it is exactly how it is in the box. It looks amazing.
I don't know how we got on this topic, but I just Bon Gelato got us there.
So the way we got on the topic is Michelle was saying one of her friends like is always posting like these kind of like soft porn pictures of herself or whatever.
Do you follow her?
I know who she's talking about. I don't follow her. And I said, but it's like normal. We've seen it from a lot of people. Like whatever, it's a dime a dozen. And I said to Michelle, I was like, I don't know, if I had boobs, I would probably post the same pictures.
Especially if you're single, right?
Yeah, like why not? I don't know. It certainly ups social media engagement,
Oh, John, what if your daughter started doing it, huh? Then what? Different story.
I don't even want to think about that.
Everybody is somebody's daughter. Remember that, John.
That's true. But I think, I don't know. Depends how old my daughter is at the time. I'm not into that whole like, don't act like that or whatever, Basically, I'll be kind of like with my daughter to be like, don't get pregnant. Like, just don't get pregnant. Do whatever you want to do. Be yourself, but don't get pregnant,
fun.
please.
But as a parent, you think you taught them enough for their childhood that they make the right decisions, right?
I don't want to babysit my 15-year-old son. You know what I mean? I just don't want to do that. So just don't get pregnant, okay? But yeah.
That's it. That's the show.
We're going to sex it up. Dad's After Dark calendar.
Oh, man. Yeah. I'll just be completely naked with some plushies around me.
If we can get 100 patrons.
No. We don't even have Patreon.
I know we don't have it, but
we got to do that. I would do a naked photo op with plushies if the price was right.
What is the price?
Imagine trying to explain to my wife, Amy, here's what's going to happen on this Saturday afternoon. I'm going to lay in bed completely naked, and you're going to put plushies in my private spots, and then you're going to take pictures of me. How do you think that would go?
Should be like, well, as long as you don't tell all your listeners that I was shaving my vagine. Sorry. Already happened.
Daughter walks in, and then... All right. Anyways, that's it. Wrap us up. What do we have coming up the next few weeks, John?
We have Nintendo Switch Sports. That's coming out this week, April 29th, this Friday.
Who cares?
That should be fun. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to get it. I think you said you're not getting it.
I don't know. Probably not. Maybe. I don't know.
I just don't feel like taking Joy-Cons out. But I might buy it and just put it on my Switch downstairs, my Just Dance machine, and then use it as sort of like a big play area. So
yeah, I had to take the Joy-Cons out the other day because I forgot my kids wanted to play Clubhouse games, and you can't play that stupid game with Pro controllers.
Okay. Yeah, that's a fun game. Gotta get back to that.
What else we got?
May 6th, we are getting, if you can believe it, physical collector's editions of Among Us. There's two of them that are coming out. The Imposter Edition and the Ejected Edition. So if you love Among Us, I think they are $50 each.
I mean, You're digging deep to pull this game out of what's coming up. Like, you must have nothing.
You're literally just buying the physical stuff. There's a plushie. Oh, there's a plushie, Drew.
Oh, I hate.
There's a plushie. There's stickers, that sort of thing. I mean, obviously the game is still very cheap. I think it's $5, right? That's $5 on Switch. Can't remember. Isn't it free on mobile?
It was free. Was it free on Switch when it came out?
I don't think it was ever free on Switch. I think it's like $5.
Okay.
So yeah, that's all we got. I look up what is Among Us on eShop. Among Us on eShop is $5.
Okay. I bought it for some reason and I hate it.
Yeah. We played it when it first came out, but
yeah, we did.
But that's it.
That's it. So we got good show.
Good show.
Long as usual.
That's what she said. Yeah.
Okay. That's all I got. Everyone have a good night.
Good night, dads.
The Dads After Dark show is part of the Nintendo Dads family of podcasts. You can subscribe to us anywhere podcasts are available, including iTunes, Castbox, Spotify, and Stitcher. Also, don't forget to leave us a 5-star review. Pretty please. Be sure to join us on the Nintendo Dads Discord in our Dads After Dark channels for some naughty After Dark talk. Follow us on Twitter at @NDadsAfterDark or email us at dadsafterdarkshow@gmail.com. And a big thank you to Family Jewels for our show's music. You rock. That's all for tonight. Good night, Dads. Sweet dreams.